welcome back out to Hamilton, Ohio. Donovan Mann here, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners. The Mariners dropped the first game in this doubleheader. The second game coming up just moments away. Right now, though, we're still waiting on starting lineups, so I would love to give them to you, but I haven't received them yet. I think I just saw one of the staff for the Hamilton Joes grab them, so they'll be making copies and handing them up to me. Normally, I go and grab them myself, but here they're very particular because I guess the coach has this thing he does not like to be asked for the lineups. Apparently that drives him insane. He will give them to you when you're ready, so I will get them when I get them. But I can't tell you this. It looks like perhaps Blake Crossing will play in this game. He's got his batting gear on right now. There's nobody on the field except, I believe, Max Gray and Andrew Loudermilk, who are throwing right now, just kind of throwing and practicing. Don't know if either one of them will be starting. I maybe could give you a guess on who would be starting based on what I've seen here. If it is as planned, either Mackenzie Hicks or Jordan B here. Correction, today's Friday, so today it could be Hoffman starting on the mound, according to what we saw from the plan earlier this week. That'd be Philip Hoffman, 1-for-1, but no official word yet. I don't have lineups. I'll get them to you as soon as I can. I just wanted guys to give you a check-in here to let you guys know we are just a moment away from baseball here. We'll see if the Mariners can climb back up at 6-6 on the season and get a win in the road column for just the second time in now what it has been 7 games on the road. They're 1-for-6 on the road thus far. Thank you for tuning into Mariners Baseball. I will be right back here on YouTube in just a moment. Thank you for listening. Hello, welcome back out to Mariners Baseball live from Hamilton, Ohio. Mariners on the road for their, I believe this is 6th game on the road in a 8-game road streak. No, correction. Let's see. Sorry, my mind has escaped me. It was the Leprechauns first, so this will be the 4th game on the road and 8 games on the road. After this, the Mariners will head down to Cincinnati tomorrow and Sunday for 2. Monday will be off, and then it will be off on the road for 2 more. And I'll get you the opponents for those 2 on the road as well. Started off rainy here in Hamilton, Ohio. Get you on those 2 road. It is the Richmond Jazz due up after Cincinnati. That'll be next Tuesday and Wednesday. Started out rainy here. That's why I was in the booth below me for the first game because it was raining. But now here in the second game, the sun is out. There are clouds in the area, but none of them look rainy. So I will be up above. I will have my normal visiting broadcaster spot right next to the loudspeaker here on top of the broadcasting booth. Get you those lineups as soon as they are made available to me. Here, I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'll go ahead and catch you up on some scores going on around the league right now in the Great Lakes Summer League. Again, Mariners game 2 versus the Hamilton Joes here. They dropped the first one. We'll be on to the next one after here momentarily. Currently tied at 4, the St. Clair Green Giants and Lake Erie Monarchs. That one is currently in a rain delay due to rain in the area. They are tied at 4. The Richmond Jazz hold a 3-0 lead at home over the Cincinnati Steam at the bottom of the 4th. Southern Ohio Copperheads and Xenia Scouts It's a 3-0 lead for the Copperheads at home. That one being delayed for rain. Galleon Graders and Licking County Settlers were supposed to have a game. That one was canceled, as well as the Lima Locos and Irish Hills game up in Adrian, Michigan. And in the bottom of the fourth, the Saginaw Sugar Beets have a 1-0 lead over the Muskegon Clippers. In the bottom of the fourth, Saginaw, of course, is at home in that one, leading. Well, we'll be right back here momentarily. We'll also have a national anthem for the second game of the doubleheader. Normally, the first game gets the national anthem, but we'll do it for the second one instead. Thank you for all for tuning in here for Game 2 of Grand Lake Mariners versus Hamilton Joes. Mariners will be trying to split the series here and get back to their winning ways. Here on YouTube, thank you for listening. I'll be right back. Welcome back out to Hamilton, Ohio. Some final numbers on the first game of the doubleheader as I continue to wait for the lineups. I was told this game was going to start 10 minutes ago. No players have taken the field. A couple of guys have started to warm up here for the Mariners at bat. And here now comes the national anthem.
With us tonight, singing the national anthem at Foundation Field, is Mr. Virgil Cook with Linwall Baseball.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts rewards were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. I guess we're ready to play ball. They must have lineups down there. They just failed to pass them on to me because they took them first. So I'll do this on the fly. Meeting on the mound here between the head coaches for game number 2. Try to get as much of the lineups as I can here. Hope I get everything accurate here. Final numbers, by the way, for Bradley Calhoun in the previous game. He was the pitcher that replaced Peplo in the 6th inning. He only went 1 inning. He allowed 1 run. That was on the 2-run shot. The 1 run was charged to Peplo. The second was given to Calhoun, the actual hitter of the home run. He gave up 2 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 1. Connor Peplo went 5, allowed 3 runs, all of them earned 5 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Ryan Middendorf, the starting pitcher, by the way, in the last matchup, went 6 innings, only allowed the 1 run, which was off Mackenzie Hitt's back. He allowed 4 home runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. I will be right back here on YouTube. So I got those lineups for you on the fly there trying to listen. Didn't catch all the positions, but I could give you a good guess based off what I did here. On the mound starting for the day will be the right-hander Donovan Thacker for the Joes. Thacker enters this game with a 1-1 record, 5.14 ERA, and 14 innings pitched. He has had 2 previous starts, so this will be his 3rd start. He stands at 6'3" from Southgate, Michigan. Tins Madonna, where he had 4 appearances, went 2-0 with 9 2/3 innings pitched with a 0.93 ERA with 11 punch-outs. He has struck out 7 in this season thus far and walked 3. He's allowed only 1 home run. Here's your lineup for your Grand Lake Mariners. Blake Crossing, I believe I heard he'd be playing shortstop here today. Jaron Lovely, right fielder. Then it'll be Chris Myers batting here for you today, third baseman. Then it'll be Jake McCall playing first base, batting cleanup. Batting fifth will be Ryan Stacy, center fielder. Justin Diaz, second baseman, will be batting after that. In the sixth hole, RJ Williams, left fielder, will be batting seventh. Batting eighth will be Tyson Hayes, the catcher. Then Jack Coney will be batting. Actually, correction, McCall will be designated hitting today. Jack Coney will be playing second base. I think Diaz will be at first. We are ready to go. Blake Crossing, the switch hitter, did not play in the previous game. He is the shortstop here today. He's switch hitter. He will be batting left against the righty. Sun continues to shine, though it sets. This one will catch the outside part of the plate there. Strike one, 0-1 the count here quickly. My spot now here, I moved out of the booth and on top of it, so I am now in the sun. No AC for me in game two. But here comes the 0-1. Crossing will tap this one right back to the pitcher, who does not make a play. And the dribbler pulls the first baseman off the bag. And so I would rule that a infield single. We'll see how they count it officially. But Blake Crossing will get aboard one way or another here leading off the game.
The right fielder, Jaron Lovely.
Right fielder Jaron Lovely will now step up here. He played in the previous matchup. For him, he was 1 for 4 with a double in the second with 1 out. They did rule that a hit there, so an infield single for Crossing. It was a slowly tapped ball back to the mound. This one will be smoked into right field, and that'll be back-to-back singles there as Crossing heads to second. So back-to-back singles to lead off the game for the Mariners. Blake Crossing's ball was tapped back to the mound, got over the pitcher, though, on a weird hop, and it was a great play there by Joe's shortstop, Justin McConnell, to try to make the play, but he didn't get to it. Now Chris Myers steps up here with nobody out. Runner at first and second for Chris Myers. He was 1 for 3 in the previous game with a single, and he reached second on the throwback in the first of the first game. Here comes the delivery to him, catches the outside of the plate. Looks like it might have just missed. That'll be ball 1, 1-0 now the count. It's nice outside now that the rain has come. There's some cloudage here. The sun begins to set to my left, streaking shadows across the field. Again, 90 feet straight away to center, or 390 feet straight away to center. Checks his swing, but called inside strike. There, 1-1 now the count here to Chris Myers today, who's playing third. Check back here to second at Crossing, and here comes the 1-1. Swung on a miss there by Myers. He's now down to the count 1-2. Second game just going underway here in the doubleheader. Mariners get back-to-back leadoff singles. I'd like to thank everybody for listening here today. Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners, bringing you game 2. 390 feet straight away center, 330 down the lines each way. Here comes the delivery. This one is well outside and high. Ball 2, 2-2 now the count here to Myers as he gets an evened up count. Mariners are in their road blues just like in their first game, and it is the red jerseys that remind me of the Cleveland Cavaliers jerseys. Same basic design in the lettering and numbers, just a brighter red. Here comes the 2-2. This one will be low and in the turf. Blocked up and gathered there nicely by the catcher Hall. Count is now full at 3-2. So a chance here now for the Mariners to get their first 3 aboard and load up the bases here on the starting pitcher. As Myers will check back here from Thacker. Delivers. This one will be sliced into the gap. That will now allow the bases to go full as they hold up Crossing at third. And 3 straight triples to lead this game off, and the Mariners are in business in the first inning. This is what was missing for the Mariners in game 1 of this series. It was just they got a man aboard, couldn't do anything after it. Now with the bases loaded situation, nobody out, this will bring up the cleanup hitter and the designated hitter, Jake McCall. Actually, correction, Jake McCall will be playing first base, so I will correct my correction. As he will get a chance batting left. The top 3 in this order all batted left. For McCall, he did not play in the previous game. Coming into today, he was hitting .250 as he looks at a ball low and in the turf, ball 1. Mariners, this is what they needed coming off of that loss in Game 1, was to get something going here in the first inning. That is exactly what they've got going on. It's still early, but with a bases-loaded situation, you can really try to chase out Donovan Thacker from the mound here early. This one will be smoked right to the shortstop, and going over to second for one, back to first for the other. But a runner does score on the sacrifice ground-out RBI there, but they're now 2 away. Runner advances to third. So that will eliminate the bases-loaded situation. But the Mariners do score 1 here in the top of the first thus far. Blake Crossing comes
Number
across.
36, the center fielder, Ryan Stacy.
That's an RBI there, sacrifice ground out, double play. So there are now 2 away, 1-0. Mariners get the early lead. Runner Chris Myers is now at third base. Here comes the delivery. This one will be cracked off the bat into center field. Running in and making the catch will be the center fielder in John McGeehan, and that will end the inning. Would have loved for them to have scored at least 2 there, but there are 1 run scored on the 2 hits. 1 man left on base, no errors. Mariners now score 1-0. They grabbed the early lead. Now it'll be the job of Philip Hoffman to defend it, and we will get you the lineups. Remind you of the lineups for the Joes here on YouTube. Do not touch that spacebar. I'll be right back. So Philip Hoffman will now come out to the mound. I apologize for the loud background noise. Again, the normal spot for visiting radio guys is on top of the radio booth right next to the loudspeaker here, so I will try my best to work around that. Defense now here behind Philip Hoffman, the starter. By the way, Philip Hoffman, get you some numbers on him to start this game. 1-1 on the season. This will be his second start in 3 total appearances. He has had a 6.42 ERA in 70 innings pitched thus far. 4 strikeouts to 3 walks. And he will now come up. The defense behind him will be Jake McCall at first base, Jack Coney on second, Blake Crossing doing shortstop, and Chris Myers, or correction, it'll be Justin Diaz at third base. R.J. Williams will be out in left field. In center field, it'll be Ryan Stacy and Jaron Lovely in right. This will bring up Trey Compton, the left fielder, leading off this game for the Joes to go up against Hoffman, the first pitcher he will face, as the speaker starts to get more and more annoying as we go on. So let's see if the Mariners can hold on to this 1-0 lead that they developed, as this one by Hoffman is inside ball 1. 1-0 now the count here. Trey Compton did bat in the previous game. He was 2 for 3 actually, as this one is struck off the bat very well into left field. Ryan Stacy will let it drop. He had a chance to make a play, I thought there, but it'll drop for a leadoff single, and so the leadoff woes defensively continue for the Mariners. That'll bring up Chandler Miller, third baseman here today in this second matchup. He will come up. He played second, started at second before being moved to third in the first game. He was 0 for 3, grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 5th of the first game with a no out base runner. Showing bunt was Miller. Pulls it back. It's called a ball here. 1-0 now the count. Runner on first as Trey Compton led off the game with a single. Chandler Miller, 5'9" infielder from Marietta, Georgia, hitting .217 coming into the day. Strike 1 called here. Hoffman catches the outside corner. Count evens up at 1-1. For Miller, he attended Trevecca Nazarena. He had 43 appearances with 42 starts, hitting .244 with 19 RBIs, 8 doubles, and a .358 on-base percentage there. Here comes the 1-1 count from Hoffman, catching the inside of the plate. Great pitch there delivered by Hoffman. 1-2 now the count. Hoffman a favorable count here to Miller. Yet Hoffman with only 4 strikeouts in the year would love to get number 5 right here. after the leadoff single. He's got to work around that as well. Runner on first is Compton. Step off and throw here to McCall, who's playing first base. Snatches it there. 1-2 as Compton gets back in safely. Just a throw there to remind, just remind him that, hey, we're keeping an eye on you over there. Here comes the delivery. This one will be high inside. Throw into second. It will get him in time. He will be caught trying to steal. So caught stealing there will be Trey Compton. There is now one away, and the bases are clean. Wow, what a throw there by Tyson Hayes down to Jack Coney, the second baseman, to get him out. 1-2 the count here as that one missed. But what a count there. And what a throw in play by Tyson Hayes, the catcher. That was 2-4, by the way. As this one is delivered outside, ball 2. The count is evened up at 2-2. 1 out. Mariners already with 3 hits in this game. Here comes the delivery on the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Down goes swinging will be Chandler Miller. There are now 2 out in this inning. As Justin McConnell, the shortstop, will now step in.
Shortstop, Justin McConnell.
McConnell did play in the previous game. Get you his numbers. For McConnell, he was 1 for 3 with an RBI triple. Then he scored on a wild pitch back in the 3rd. For a while, the score was held at 2-1 as he gets his first pitch delivered. Popped up, back and out of play. One advantage of my spot here is I get to see those foul balls. Now, if one is popped up straight back to me, I don't promise I would catch it. I would be more trying to defend my broadcasting equipment here, the Comrex that my organization at school so generously allowed me to borrow, and of course my personal laptop. This one is smoked into right field, but Jaron Lovely will make a play out of it, and that will end the inning. So only 3 up and 3 down, but Trey Compton did get a hit before he was caught stealing. No runs scored, no errors, and no men left on base. Mariners hold a 1-0 lead as we head now to the top of the second. They will look to continue their great start from the first. Due up will be Justin Diaz, R.J. Williams, and Tyson Hayes for the Mariners. We'll see if Donovan Thacker can hold them at peace. Thank you for listening. 1-0 lead here for the Mariners. I will be right back. So here comes Donovan Thacker out to the mound. I am Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners. We're both named Donovan, both spelled the same way, but I'm sure you won't get us confused. One is your happy and lovely voice for the Grand Lake Mariners. The other is a pitcher for an opposing team. 1-0, the Mariners lead here as Justin Diaz, the third baseman, will step in. He will lead off the top of the second here. Mariners got a run scored off a sacrifice ground out by Jake McCall after 3 straight triples to start the first inning. So here we go now as Diaz will look in. He will look at a ball on the outside of the plate there. So 1-0 the count here now. Quickly to Diaz, and Diaz will be trying to continue what has been a pretty solid season thus far, as here comes the 1-0 delivery, missing inside and low, ball 2. 2-0 now the count here, nobody out as this is Diaz, the leadoff hitter. 3 hits to 1 for the Mariners. By the way, for Diaz, his numbers are .286 coming into this game with a .375 on-base percentage. Here comes the delivery to him. This will miss inside, low again, ball 3. Now the 3-0 count here to Diaz. Diaz batting right. Again, it's a very lefty-oriented lineup here for the Mariners again. But now Diaz, the first righty. As this one is low into the dirt, so on 4 straight pitches, Diaz will take a walk. Again, that was something we didn't see against Diaz in the game against the Leprechauns, was he was too aggressive. He kept swinging and swinging, and he came up swinging and missing twice, and then he struck out looking another time. As this now R.J. Williams, left fielder batting left, will step in with a no-out base runner as Justin Diaz draw the leadoff walk. Williams did not play in the previous game as well. He's only had one. This will be his second start of the season, the Bowling Green man. He's hitting 200 thus far in the season as this one's delivered him catching the outside of the plate there, strike one. 0-1 the count. For R.J. Williams, he has a .429 on-base percentage. He played in 39 games for Bowling Green State University this past season with 22 starts, hitting .288 for the Falcons. Here comes the gather and the delivery on the 0-1. This one will get away here from the catcher, and Diaz will be able to advance on the wild pitch there. I would not credit the steal there. We'll see how they score it, though, officially, because Diaz was not off and running there, so I'd say he will get no stolen base there. 2-0 now the count here. Breeze starting to pick up a little bit as I try to manage my papers a little now. Hoffman has a 2-0 count to Williams. A 1-1 count to Williams, correction. This one will be popped high into left field. Too high and not enough distance here. Easily going to make the catch will be Trey Compton. Diaz will stay at second. Williams will go down on the F7 there, and there's one away. Tyson Hayes, the catcher, now steps in. He's had a slow offensive start, but his defense, as we saw in the previous inning, as he caught the leadoff hitter and Trey Compton stealing, has been on spot this season, which is what you want from your catchers. Hitting 150 with a 190 on base percentage is Tyson Hayes, the Illinois State man. He will now look back here. It will be Thacker to Diaz before delivering. Thought about swinging, doesn't matter. He caught the plate there on the high part. 0-1. The 0-1 count here now to Hayes, who did not start the previous game. I already mentioned his percentages. He attends Illinois State construction management major there. He will chop at this one and just boot it towards the third base dugout where the home team sits. So now 0-2 in the count is Tyson Hayes. Probably, at least what I've seen, the better defensive catcher of the two on the roster for the Mariners. But for offense, he's not been the best. This one will be popped back and out of play past me. I will watch it safely hit the ground. And we'll go again at the 0-2. Not to say that Tyson Hayes, or not to say that I'm sitting here saying Logan Adams or Tyson Hayes is better. It's just one is really good defensively and kind of offensively. One is really showing up offensively and kind of hasn't had a chance to prove himself defensively. Throw back here to second. Diaz will get back in time. 0-2 the count remains. No pitch. Because again, at the end of the day, I mean, there's not been really... Logan Adams has not been really challenged as a catcher defensively, while Hayes has, and Hayes has proven himself thus far. Here comes the 0-2 delivery to him, chopped up, foul, and down the third base line towards the third base coach for the Mariners. And we'll go again at 0-2. Nico Buntella, by the way, is the third base coach. He's the assistant coach. He actually was offered this job before head coach Damon Hacker. Actually, Hacker was brought in by his friend and roommate from Auburn. And though he arrived after him because he was on vacation before this, here comes the delivery to him. Just tipped back here by Hayes. We'll again go at 0-2. And Hayes is doing a great job of just keeping himself alive, throwing the bat at these ones. And he's kept himself alive, and still he's in an 0-2 count with one out. But he's doing a great job there. That might have been a ball, but still, better safe than sorry. But back to the Buntello story. He was actually hired before head coach Damon Hacker, but when... As this one's cut on and missed there by Hayes, he'll go down swinging. There's two away for Zach Coney, second baseman.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's our beer batter.
And that'll make
It'll be Tyson Hayes for
Zach
the
Coney
remainder
not
of the
playing in
evening.
the previous game.
Beers are $1 off for the remainder of this second inning. Stop by the beer booth.
Coney 0 for 5
Down
entering
the
this
first
day with a
base
400
line,
base
$1 off
percentage.
beer.
From Grand Rapids, Michigan, he attends the University, or the Ohio University down in Athens, Ohio, of course. With two away, Diaz on at first. This one is low and in the turf, blocked up there nicely by Hall. 1-0 the count goes. To finally finish up that story, Hacker was hired afterwards. He got here first. He was with the team longer, and then when it was announced that head coach Jacob Burke would step down to join his new college team, here comes the delivery. This one will be tapped off his bat right to the pitcher. Really an unfortunate play, as it'll be a 1-3 assisted ground out. And so on no hits, no runs, no errors, the one man left on base, we will now head to the bottom of this inning, with the Mariners still leading 1-0.
Once again,
Philip
Lindenthal is
Hoffman
our
will
sponsor for
return
tonight's game, so let's kick it down to
return
Robbie
back on the
for,
mound to face
a
Griffin
Lindenthal
Doshing,
giveaway here in a second.
John McGeehan, and then Michael Hale, the first baseman. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Mariners have a 1-0 lead here live on YouTube. Mariners Baseball, thank you for listening.
Courtesy of Jim.
So now here comes the designated hitter, Griffin Doshing. He was on first base. He started off as first baseman in the previous game where he finished the game. For Doshing, he was 1 for 2 with a walk. He reached third. He actually was scored after he reached third on consecutive wild pitches. He'll foul tip the first one back. He walked in the first, got a single in the sixth, got the second, and then the third on 2 different wild pitches. And then he was scored on the home run, or correction, no. He was actually, here comes the 0-1 delivery to him. This one will be smoked into left field and will leave the park. And so now we are tied, and that's what he does. He is a power hitter by look and by nature. So he will lock this one out of the park. And we are tied here now on the solo home run from Ryan Doshing. And to go back on what happened to him, he was actually first and third play. They were trying to draw the throw from second so that he could score from third. Well, they drew the throw from Logan Adams, but then a brilliant play by the second baseman in that game to throw it back to Logan Adams and get Doshing out. So he was caught that way. As here's a strike here delivered to now Jack McGeehan, the center fielder, who in the previous game was 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. And they tried, in his first walk, he got to second on an error from the starting pitcher Peplo, and then tried to go for third, but Spry caught him out, as now he's quickly in the count 0-2 as this one catches the inside part of the quarter. He was caught out trying to go to third. Great play there between Hicks at third base to tag him, and the throw from Spry. This one is smoked right to crossing. The shortstop gathers it up, throws it over to first. It's a low throw, but they will get him. Ooh, that was a close play on the low throw there. If it had been a little bit higher, no close play. But one away now on the 6-3 assisted ground out. McGeehan grounds out to short. That'll bring up Michael Hale, first baseman. Did not play, or he did play in the previous game. He was a DH. He was 1 for 3 with a single in the fourth. He struck out his first time up in the second. He'll be looking here now against the new pitcher in Philip Hoffman. Starting righty for the Mariners, delivers a ball high, 1-0. 1 out. 1-1 the score off of the home run from Griffin Dozier. This one will be popped high into center, but not very deep. Coming in, Ryan Stacy will make the play, and there are 2 away on the F8. Boy, that one was a high one, but it was high with absolutely no go. Okay. And so now there are 2 away to bring up Tyler Feynman. And he was the backbreaker for the Mariners in the last one. He came in with only 1 at-bat after he replaced Coffey. in the lineup but moved to left field. He came in and delivered a 2-run shot as he looks at a low fastball here, ball 1, 1-0. He delivered a 2-run shot that eventually put that one out of reach for the Mariners. They went down 4-1 after that. Here comes the delivery to him. This will be catching the plate on the low part there as well. 1-1 now the count here to Feynman, the right fielder. The Mariners are tied with the Joes 1-1. This is fouled back past the first base dugout and out of play. It's starting to get dark here, and the bugs have started to come out as well towards me. I am bug chow to a lot of bugs, so I've got to deal with that up here as well, but it is what it is. The 0-2 count here to Feynman now. Delivered, popped back, and out of play. We'll go again at 0-2. With 2 outs, nobody on, 1-1 the score. Mariners have 3 hits to the Joes 1. And the Mariners will be looking now to respond to the Doshing home run. Here comes the 0-2 delivery. This one is high and outside. Knocked down there, but gets away from Hayes. Doesn't matter. There's no one on base. So he will just go back and gather that one and give it back to his starting pitcher, Hoffman. Umpire will call for new balls, and we will go again. Hamilton Joes have an entirely artificial infield here, which is why we were able to play this doubleheader despite there being a lot of rain. Actually, the game started in rain as well, but because we didn't have to worry about the infield getting flooded with natural dirt and grass, cut on and miss. Down goes swinging will be Feynman, and there will end the inning. Down goes the side here in the bottom of the second, but not before Griffin Doshing can tie it up with the home run.
For the owner of Kia Sportage,
that will now bring up Blake Crossing, Jaron Lovely, and Chris Myers for the Mariners. Tied at 1-1 here. They'll be coming out and trying now here to score again. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. We'll be right back. The sun continues to set here in Hamilton, Ohio. I am Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners for the summer of 2018. Blake Crossing will step in against switch hitter batting left against the right-handed pitcher and Donovan Thacker. Blake Crossing 1 for 1, had a single and then scored a run back in the first. He has scored the only run for the Mariners here today. It is tied 1-1. Here comes the delivery. This will be catching the low part of the plate. Looked low to me, but they'll call it strike 1, 0-1. Crossing will step back in after he gives his bat a mean stare down. Here comes the 0-1. This one will be smoked into left field there on the ground, and that will be a second leadoff single here for Blake Crossing. He is 2 for 2, and after struggling in his most recent games, he is now having great plate appearances here in the early going against the Hamilton Joes. Reminder that this game is only scheduled to go 7 innings due to the doubleheader rules of the Great Lakes Summer League. Of course, we, the Mariners team and staff, do have a 2-hour bus ride, van ride back to Salina, Ohio, where we're located. Throw back to first Crossing. Crossing does go in on his knees, but doesn't really slide. He just kind of falls over on the bag. He didn't have a huge leadoff, but Thacker just wants to make sure he knows him. Jaron Lovely in the left-hander's batter's box now, right fielder. Had a single that followed up Blake Crossing's back in the first. He will come deliver. This will be outside, ball 1. 1-0 now the count here to Jaron Lovely, the right fielder. Jaron Lovely, already mentioned in the previous game, he went 1 for 4 with a double in the second. Entering this year, he had a 308 hitting average, hoping to try to bring that back up. Throw back to Crossing. Throw back to first here. Crossing will slide in safely. Count remains at 1-0. There was no pitch. For Lovely, really his patient at-bats. He has a .486 on-base percentage. You'd love to see him try to continue that. If he likes what he sees, he'll swing. But he looks there at another just outside pitch, 2-0. Didn't like what he saw, took it, and that is how he gets his roster time or roster spot and playing time, is by doing that. The man from Marshall, Saito Technology major. Here comes the delivery. This one will be smoked down the third base line, but cut foul and out of play. Count goes now to 2-1. He saw what he liked. He just didn't get his bat to it in time. Reminder that the Mariners are in their road blues. It is red jerseys here for the Joes. And again, the best way I just describe it to give you the best image is just picture the Cavs red, or what they call wine uniforms from this past year. Same basic design with the black lettering and yellow yellow kind of lines that frame the numbers and letters. Just a little bit of a brighter red. 2-1 the count. Another throwback to first here to Crossing, and now Thacker will look back in. He's going up against Jaron Lovely, the left-handed batter. Here comes the delivery. This one is cracked back off the bat. Almost hits a light as it goes out of play towards the parking lot and hits two cars. It hit the top of an SUV and then bounced off a sedan. So they may have a dent on one or both of those cars. 2-2 now the count here to Lovely. That's the risk you get for parking your car so close to the field. Parking lot here, step off here by Thacker. Crossing, no throw, but Crossing goes back to first anyway. That's what you get. I mean, the parking lot here is really close to the Joes. I mean, what did you expect? You didn't think foul balls would get hit in that direction? I don't know. I mean, here comes the delivery. This one will be smoked back into the protective netting. And the count remains at 2-2. They will gather the loose ball. And we will go again. 2-2 the count. Thacker to Lovely. Lovely 1 for 1 on the day with a single. 1 for 4 in the previous game in this doubleheader. Here comes the 2-2. This one will be smoked into left center, and it'll get down for a base hit. Crossing will get into second, and like the first inning, back-to-back leadoff singles with nobody out for the Mariners here in the third inning, courtesy of the bats of Blake Crossing and Jaron Lovely. That'll bring up Chris Myers, the designated hitter, also 1 for 1 with a single. Reminder, he loaded up the bases that eventually allowed Jake McCall to come in and score a sacrifice RBI on a double play, but it scored Blake Crossing from third. We'll see what Chris Myers can do with this top of the lineup right now. And the first 2 times he has faced them has really caused Hacker some problems, and the bullpen is already up and working for the Joes. This one is a strike called inside, catches the high part of the zone at the corner. 0-1 now the count here to Myers. This is what I was talking about in the first one. If you heard my rants, kind of heard me get a little bit heated about how the Mariners could never seem to get anything offensively going. It's been going here in the first 3 innings thus far. This one is taken low, ball 1 on the inside, 1-1. He thought about swinging, but held up smartly. There was the designated hitter, Chris Myers. Because, again, when the offense rolls, it doesn't have to be the long ball, which in college is not much the thing right now. It is more in the majors, but you got to imagine that will spread as it goes through the minors and eventually down to the guys in college. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. This one will be catching the outside of the plate there. Strike 2. Myers is down in the count, 1-2. Due up after him will be Jake McCall, who had an RBI sacrifice ground out back in the first inning. The 1-2 check back here to Crossing at second before the delivery. This one will be cracked high off the bat. Will stay in the infield, be caught there by the shortstop and McConnell, and there's one away on the pop out. That'll bring up Jake McCall with the RBI sacrifice ground out back in the first.
Number 50.
With 1 away, runners on first and runners on second. Second is Blake Crossing. Jaron Lovely is on first. 1-1 your score here. 5 hits for the Mariners already today, with only 2 for the Joes. McCall batting left again. The sun continues to go down, and it looks a little bit gray now too, as this one misses outside the plate to McCall. I will take off my sunglasses now as the sun is basically past the trees and gone. There are a lot of gray clouds in the area, but none of them promise rain. On the 1-1 count here, Thacker will look into McCall's to get the sign from his pitcher, or his catcher. Look back here to second before the 1-0 delivery. This will catch the outside of the plate. Called strike to 1. 1-1 now. The count with 1 out. No, with 2 men on. Provided there's no double play ball here, Ryan Stacy will do back up next for the Mariners. 1-1 now. The count here to McCaw. McCaw will set deliver, and he will swing on and tip this one back to the catcher. The count goes to 1-2 now. Favorable count for Thacker. Probably can sense that there is somebody up warming in the bullpen already. Can't catch who it is because it's farther away than the catcher. But I can't tell you it's a lefty. But they got a few lefties on this roster. Probably would eliminate Connor Bell as the 1-2 check back here to second before the delivery. Smoked off the bat, but right to the second baseman. Throw back to first. Second in time. It'll be a pop out, ground out, double play. 4-6 there. Crossing was just a little bit too far ahead. Could not slide back in time. And that will retire the side. Like I said, unless there was a double play ball, we'd be seeing Ryan Stacy. There was a double play ball. So the score tied at 1-1. Philip Hoffman will return back out for his third inning of work. He'll be facing up Michael Hall, Jared Kaufman, and then Trey Compton back at the top of the order. I'd like to thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. Do not touch that window button and close it out. I'll be right back. Back out here in Hamilton, Ohio, Hall, Kaufman, and Compton due up for the Joes here in their home stadium. It is 1-1 here, tied ball game. Michael Hall did not play. He's the starting catcher in this one. He did not play in the last game. Updates from scores around the league. Due to rain, St. Clair Green Giants and Lake Erie Monarchs are still tied at 4 with the rain games still being suspended. Here comes the first pitch here from Hoffman to Hall. It's fouled back towards the screening. 0-1 now the count here. Quickly, head coach Damon Hacker will come back and grab that ball. Richmond Jazz have a 3-2 lead over the Cincinnati Steam in the bottom of the 6th at home. Here comes the delivery outside, missing ball 1. 1-1 now the count. Southern Ohio Copperheads have a 3-1 lead over the Xenia Scouts in the bottom of the 4th at home. And then the Muskegon Clippers trail 1-6 on the road to the Saginaw Sugar Beets. Here comes the delivery. This will be high inside, ball 2, 2-1 now the count. Mariners will be trying to do something they have only done once in this series, and that is prevent the leadoff man getting aboard. In the first inning of this game, Trey Compton led off with a single. He was eventually caught stealing by a brilliant play to Tyson Hayes. This one will be a high heat, missing ball 3, and now very quickly in danger of walking the leadoff man is Hoffman. Then back in the second, Griffin Doshing led off with a home run to tie the game at 1-1. 3-1 now the score here, or the count here. Hall will get a favorable pitch. This will miss high, ball 4, and for the third straight time in this game, in 3 innings, it'll be a leadoff base runner for the Joes. Only one time in this series, and that was in the second of the previous matchup game, where Peplo got a strikeout on Michael Hale. Other than that, it's been pretty easy for leadoff men for the Joes here today. 1 out base runner, nobody on. Bunt showed, pulled back, called a strike on the outside corner there. Anyway, 0-1. Let me correct that. 1 man on, nobody out. I said nobody on, 1 man out. That's not the same thing. Some signs showed there by the third baseman, third base coach. Possibly another hit and run or bunt situation. Check in here. Hoffman having a hard time seeing the signs, and so time called by Hayes, and then he'll go out to the mound and have a conversation. I don't know if it was because Kaufman was swinging his bat around and it was harder to see. And now the home plate umpire is going to tell them to break up the meeting, as Tyson Hayes and Philip Hoffman will continue to have a conversation. But the home plate umpire goes out. Tyson Hayes says, okay, I'll come back, join you. And they both trot back out behind home plate. Reminder that the score is the count is 0-1. The score is 1-1. Tied here from Hamilton, Ohio. Hoffman will gather and deliver. Bunt shown. This will be off the bat. Will stay fair. Thrown over to first, so the sacrifice bunt play works. Advancing Hall to second, but there's now one away on the fielder's choice.
Number 20, the left fielder, Trey Compton.
That'll bring up Trey Compton, who had a single back in the first before he was caught stealing. 1-for-1 on the day. Playing left field here today. Reminder, he had a pretty good game in the last series. He was 2-for-3 with a couple of singles and a successful stolen base. So he will now get a chance with one away. Runner on second. Here comes the delivery to the right-handed batter. Low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in here with me today, as I will get you an update from scores around the majors now here at 9:03. Here comes the delivery to catching the outside of the plate. 1-1 Hayes receives that one nicely. And now in the count, Trey Compton is 1-1. Hoffman trying to get Compton, something that has been very hard to do for Mariners pitchers here. He's faced 3 Mariners pitchers in this doubleheader here today. He's gotten a hit off of all of them. Here comes the delivery. This will be high inside, ball 2, 2-1. Indians and Detroit Tigers tied in Cleveland in the bottom of the first. That is a 0-0 ball game. 2-1 the count here now. Hoffman will gather and deliver. Here comes the delivery. This one is cut on and maybe fouled off. I believe they say it will. The count will leave it up at 2-2. Phillies lead the Nationals in Washington 6-2. Diamondbacks and Pirates in Pittsburgh tied at 0 in the bottom of the 8th. That one looking like extra innings. The Seattle team has a 10-6 lead in Boston over the Red Sox. 2-2 count here. Hoffman will looking for a sign from Tyson Hayes. He gets it. Cubs trail to the Reds in Cincinnati 4-3. Check back to second. Here comes the 2-2 delivery. Popped high. Foul territory into right field and will get out of play into the Mariners bullpen. Count will remain at 2-2. Mets, Dodgers. Dodgers in New York have a 4-2 lead at the end of the 6th. In the bottom of the 5th, the Tampa Bay Rays at home have a 2-0 lead over the Yankees. Orioles lead in the middle of the 5th, 1-0 over the Braves in Atlanta. In Game 2 of a doubleheader against the White Sox and Athletics, it's 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Sox lead it. Score tied at 0 in Milwaukee against the Cardinals. Top of the 3rd there. Twins trailing at home 2-0 to the Texas Rangers in the top of the 4th. Bottom of the 3rd, Royals-Astros tied at 0 in Houston. Middle of the 2nd, no score. Here comes the delivery on the 2-2. This will be inside, ball 3. The count is full. From Hoffman to the batter, and Trey Compton trying to get on base for the 2nd time today in just as many at-bats, many play appearances. Marlins and Rockies in Colorado, middle of the 2nd, tied at 0. And then the Athletics won 11-2 over the White Sox in their first game of the doubleheader earlier today. This one will be popped high, really high, a lot of air under it, but not any sort of travel. Running in, making the play will be Stacy. There's one away. There is actually now 2 away, and Trey Compton will go down on the F8. Not an easy task here today for Mariners pitchers, but they'll get it done here for just the 2nd time today. Now bring up Chandler Miller, struck out swinging his last at-bat. And he'll be looking now to try to keep this inning going with 2 outs and a runner at second. The runner at second's name is Michael Hall, who advanced there on the sacrifice bunting fielder's choice. Sacrifice bunt. With 2 outs, runner on second. Hoffman will look back to second before delivering. This one will be smoked right and into the gap. That'll allow here running and scoring will be Hall. So it'll be an RBI single here for Chandler Miller. And I'm having deja vu as it is a 2-1 lead here in the third inning. Mariners now trailing by 1.
Number 6, the shortstop, Justin Montgomery.
And why I'm having deja vu is because it was in the third inning that the 2-1 lead was taken by the Joes in the last game. And a reminder, this game only goes to 7, so time is short here. But the Mariners have at least shown the bats have been a little bit hotter here today, though they have already left 2 men on base in 3 innings. Here comes the delivery, cut on and missed Hoffman to now the new batter, by the way, is Justin McConnell. The shortstop flew out to right his last time up. 0-1 the count here to McConnell. Again, as a reminder for you, McConnell was 1 for 3 with an RBI triple back. That was the first run scored by the Joes, and he might be looking to do that again here. 0-1 as Hoffman will look in to get his sign, set, gather, and deliver. This will be just a bit inside 1-1. The 1-1 count here. By the way, Justin McConnell entering this game as he gets the 1-1 delivery. This one will be low inside, 2-1 now the count to him. Was hitting .333 coming into the day from Springsboro, Ohio, Wright State where he attends. He did not play for the Horizon League champion Wright State team this season. Check back here to first from Hoffman. He'll step on the mound. He will gather on the 2-1 delivery. Nod. Here comes the delivery. This will miss outside. 3-1. And so command for the Mariners here in both these games have been hot and cold. It's either they can or they can't hit the strike zone. 3-1. More times it's been can't than can. But in this at-bat, Hoffman's having a hard time. To Justin McConnell. 0-1 on the day. Here comes the 3-1. Catching the plate right down Broadway. 3-2. Just right in the heart of the plate. Great meatball. Could have swung at that one and done some damage. But instead, McConnell will now fill up the count at 3-2. Hoffman looking to get a strikeout here and end the inning with 2 outs. The score now 2-1 after 2 unanswered runs by the Joes here at home in the back-to-back second and third inning. Here comes the delivery. Runner goes. This one is popped high into center field. Stacy will get under it and make the play. That will end the inning, and the side is retired. We will now head to the top of the 4th. Mariners now trailing 2-1 here on the road. Due up for the Mariners will be Ryan Stacy, Justin Diaz, and R.J. Williams, otherwise known as the 5, 6, 7 hitters. We'd like to thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. Do not close out that window, hit pause, or do anything to leave. I'll be right back. Well, it's a sad day here in Hamilton, Ohio. They are playing the chicken dance song. Nobody's dancing. And it's a sad day. You gotta get up. Come on, it's a chicken dance song. It's the chicken dance. You gotta do it. Just do it.
Number 36, the center fielder.
Nobody will judge you. It's the chicken dance song. Anyway, 2-1, the Mariners trailing here. Ryan Stacy will lead off this inning 0-1. He flew out to center in his last time up. And we're looking to get this inning going here for the Mariners. Strike 1 called here, catching the plate there. 0-1. Mariners in 3 straight innings have gotten their leadoff man aboard. Ryan Stacy wants to try to continue that trend here as he's down to the count 0-1, batting left against the right-hander. This will be down in the turf, blocked up there by Hall. the catcher. 1-1 the count. Five hits for the visitors here in the Mariners with the 1 run. 3 runs, 2 runs scored on 3 hits for the Joes. This one is cracked off the bat, rolls down the first baseline and goes foul. 1-2 now, and in the hole is Ryan Stacy, center fielder. Mariners in this game have hit better. They just haven't been able, in the early going at least, they just haven't been able to score much. We'll see if that can change here starting in the third. That's kind of been the road woes here, is being able to get on base but not being able to score. Cut on and miss, down goes swinging will be Stacy. He'll go to 0-2 on the day. That'll bring up Justin Diaz, who walked back in the second inning to lead it off.
The third baseman, Justin Diaz.
So Justin Diaz walked back in the second. Hasn't yet played third base till today. He usually plays second base. Did not play in the previous game. This will be an outside low ball, 1-0 now the count to Diaz. Diaz entering the day was hitting .286 with a .375 average. The Chicago, Illinois native, of course, Illinois State's where he attends criminal justice major, entering his second season there. Took a red shirt with no appearances this past year. Listing low again, 2-0 to Diaz. Diaz very patient. That's something we didn't see in his first few at-bats against the Leprechauns. 3 strikeouts for him, including two swinging. But here he is taking his balls, and he's looking like he might try to draw a second walk. As I say that, he cuts on and misses here. Thought he liked it. 2-1 now the count here to him. Still has a favorable count as Diaz. That's the thing with some of these younger batters. You know, they want to try to knock it out of the park. That's what's big right now. The home run ball. It's exciting if you can do it. That's what they think once in the majors. This is Smart taking their 3-1 and a favorable count to Diaz. He might get a meatball here to swing at right in the middle of his plate. Otherwise, if it's just a piece of scraps, he might take his walk. Here comes the 3-1. Donovan Thacker, the starting pitcher, delivers inside, ball 4, and so Justin Diaz will draw his second walk of the game to bring up R.J. Williams with 1 out here in the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning, 2-1 the score here. Mariners trailing on the road. R.J. Williams 0 for 1, flew out to left his last time up, did the left fielder. He'll be looking to improve on he just joined the team not that long ago, so we can't say he's had a super slow start. Has the Pickerington, Ohio native, Bowling Green State University senior. Tries to hold up but goes around there. 0-1 the count. For R.J. Williams, the outfielder batting left, studies communications at Bowling Green State University. Hitting .200 coming into the day with a .429 on-base percentage. His first few at-bats were in a pinch-hitting situation against the Leprechauns in the first game against the Leprechauns, and he drew walks. He shows bunt, ends up popped back towards the backstop, and so the count now goes 0-2. Count now 0-2 here with 1 out, runner on first, and R.J. Williams will probably have to swing now. Play says the umpire to Thacker, who takes a while to get his side, but finally gathers it. Here he delivers. This will be high inside, probably more high than anything, 2-1. 2-1 the count, 2-1 the score, or 1-2 the count, 2-1 the score, 1 out, runner on first. 5 hits for the Mariners. R.J. Williams looking to make it number 6 with the 1-2 count, though. He's got to be smart here. Again, flew out to left his last time up. Here comes the delivery to him. Inside, gathered up there nicely by Hall as that one almost got away from him. Count evens up at 2-2. And now R.J. Williams doing a great job of being patient. Now, working that count. He showed, again, his second strike came on a bunt that was tipped back. If he were to avoid grounding or flying into a double play, Tyson Hayes will be due up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging his previous at-bat. Here comes the 2-2. Runner goes. Throw down. It will not be in time. And that was ball 3. So now R.J. Williams with a full count. Runner in second now after Justin Diaz gets a stolen base. By the way, for Justin Diaz, that'll be his 3rd stolen base on the year. says he has more stolen bases than RBIs. Only 2 RBIs to his name, 3 stolen bases. Check back here to second now. Here comes the payoff pitch. Taking all the way outside, R.J. Williams will draw back-to-back walks with 1 out to bring up Tyson Hayes, the catcher. Struck out swinging his previous time up, entered the day.
And now the beer batter steps into the box.
Hitting
Number 16,
150
catcher,
on the year.
Tyson Hayes.
Entering this game, that was anyway, for Hayes, the Illinois State attendee from Aurora, Colorado. For Illinois State, had 9 appearances. Hit 500. That was just 4 for 8, though, for his at-bats. Had 2 RBIs, though. He tended, as he cuts this one, it's a routine double play ball, but off and running was R.J. Williams. So R.J. Williams with a great hustle play there. Only play was at first. So 5-3 on the sacrifice there. And now there are 2 runners in scoring positions, including the tying run just 90 feet away. That'll bring up Zach Coney, 0 for 1, grounding into back to the pitcher in his previous at-bat. He'll be trying to go on. He's a right-handed batter, back-to-back righties, by the way. Zach Coney, wearing number 46, will look at a high fastball outside. 1-1. He doesn't chase the heat. Zach Coney attends Ohio University down in Athens, but he started his career at Purdue before he transferred in 2017. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, this one is low into the turf, nicely blocked up there by Hall to make sure that he kept Justin Diaz at base at third. 2-0 now the count here to Coney, a favorable count. He'll be looking to try to drive in at least 1 run, tie this game up, but if he were to reach, it'd be got Blake Crossing, who was 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. Crossing would love an opportunity after his bat has heated up here in Hamilton. Looking for the sign on the 2-0. Check to third, and now Thacker will deliver the 2-0 pitch. This one is smoked softly, off and running, but easy routine play there by the shortstop on the 6-3, and the narrative continues for the Mariners, getting aboard, but not being able to do much after that. So we will now head to the bottom of the 4th. Griffin Dosinger with a home run.
Right,
Jack
Riley,
McGee and Michael Hale due up for
All right, everybody, it's time
the
for sack race
Joes
today.
here in Hamilton,
We got
Ohio,
3
as they will
teams this
face
time.
the starting
First
pitcher,
contestant will
Philip
Dallas
Hoffman.
Stone.
Thank you for listening. I'll be right back. Some interesting potato sack races going on. They had some kids in potato sacks jumping, and it's pretty funny. One of them tried to cheat, and then he tripped trying to cheat, and he lost because of it. And now he can't get out of his sack, and they just got him out of his sack, and he will head on his way. So the score 2-1 here in Hamilton, Ohio. The Mariners trailing here in the bottom of the 4th. Due up will be Griffin Doshing 1 for 1 with a home run solo shot that tied the game up back in the bottom of the 2nd. He's designated hitting here today. He started on first in the first of these 2 doubleheader games. Reminder, this game only scheduled to go to 7. We are currently in the bottom of the 4th, so halfway here in game number 11 of the season. Here comes the delivery. This will be outside by Hoffman. Ball 1, 1-0 now the count. Doshing, by the way, was 1 for 2 with a walk in the first in the last game and then a single in the 6th. Here comes the 1-0 delivery from Hoffman. This will carry just a little bit outside, I guess, 2-0. Trying, again, sometimes pitchers just have to have short memories even though they struggle with it. And certainly after letting up a solo shot to Griffin Doshing, you're going to have a short memory. Here comes the 2-0 delivery. This one will be cut on and missed. He chased the high heat there. The count goes to 2-1. Mariners have Hoffman on the mound. Here, he will deliver the 2-1. He is 1 for 1 on the year. This one will be cut back and towards the protective screening. If there wasn't protective screening up that high, it would have soared right towards the loudspeaker, maybe knocked out the loudspeaker, which I wouldn't have had a problem with. Because, again, I got to get out of this headset. I would have to get off the air quickly, otherwise I have a hard time speaking with the whatever sort of music they play. Cut on and missed here. The count goes to 2-3, and Dorshing will go down swinging, and that's the thing with power hitters. They cut on and miss. They're good for home runs, and then they also are good for strikeouts. That'll bring up with 1 out here. By the way, the first time in this game the Mariners have kept the leadoff man off the plate. Also a deja vu from Game 1, I believe, as... Never mind, it wasn't the fourth inning that happened, so no deja vu here. I'm just imagining things. Missing low ball, 1 here. Hoffman now facing John McGeehan the second time here today. 0 for 1 is McGeehan with a ground out to short. This one will be high and inside, ball 2. Hoffman trying to settle in a decent crowd here in Hamilton, Ohio, of all ages. Here comes the 2-0 delivery. This will be fouled back and into the protective netting here. 2-1 now the count here to McGeehan, the center fielder. Again, McGeehan entered this day entered in here today, hitting .222. That's before the first game. This one will be popped high and out of play. So the count is evened up here now at 2-2. I actually lost that one. I got nervous. Somebody yelled heads up. I got nervous because I lost that one in the sky, but I think it went to my right. Here's the 2-2. This will be popped back, and this one's closer to me, but arcs over me and out of play. So the count remains at 2-2. McGeehan, center fielder, trying to stay alive here. I'd like to thank you all for listening here. Of course, I would be nothing without my listeners. Here enjoying some Mariners baseball here on a Friday evening, part of a doubleheader. This one will be high fastball. Loads up the count now as it misses 3-2. But nobody on. 1 out. 2-1 the score here. Mariners leading, or trailing, here on the road. Again, the road has not been a kind place for the Mariners. Here comes the 3-2. This one will be high and inside. And it'll be a 1-out walk for McGeehan. And Hoffman now will face Michael Hay.
Number 15.
Michael Hale.
The first baseman, Michael Hale.
0 for 1 on the day as Hale had a fly out to center his pass time up. It was a deep fly, but Stacy made the play. Somebody up and getting at least stretching in the bullpen for the Mariners. Not throwing yet, but he's getting loose. I think he's stretching out his hamstrings because, of course, the legs are incredibly important for pitching. This one catches the inside of the plate, and I don't mean that sarcastically either. Legs, a lot of the power comes from the legs. There's a lot of pressure put on the arms and the shoulders in throwing, but a lot of that power comes from the legs, the base. You got to have, and if you pull a muscle out there on the mound, that's not good. Here comes the 0-1 with a runner on, with 1 out. Runner going all the way. This one is tipped off the bat towards the pitcher. Only play is at first. He makes his takes his time, but does get it over to McCall. And so that'll advance McGeehan to second on the 1-3 sacrifice official fielder's choice there. This will now bring up Tyler Thaman. Struck out his last time up, but he delivered in his last game. His only at bat in that last game. Came in defensively, then pitched, and then of course hit for Coffey. But he delivered a 2-run shot that broke the backs of the Mariners, who could have mounted a comeback in the top of that inning. Well, it was only 2-1, but he delivered a 2-run shot, made it 4-1, as this one misses outside. 2 outs, runner on second. 2-1 the score, 1-0 the count. Here to Thaman. The the right fielder here, starting in this second matchup. The sun is basically all gone away. Lights are on. It's a nice night here in Hamilton, Ohio. Cooled off after the rain came. Here comes the delivery. Checks his swing, holds up. This one is low, ball 2, 2-0 now the count here. And now up and throwing in the bullpen, we do have somebody up now. I think it is number 8, Bear Bellamy, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really far away from me. I don't have some spotter binoculars, so. Here comes the 2-0 delivery, high fastball, missing. 3-0 at a very favorable count now for Thaman. He's going to get a good meatball, and now actually we're going to have a conversation on the mound with the 3-0 count. Tyson Hayes, the catcher, is going to go out. And head coach Damon Hacker will join him on the mound. And they'll have a conversation about it. Probably just buying some time for the man warming up in the bullpen, which again I believe is either, actually, probably Tommy Seamer, number 6, because Bear Bellamy started not that long ago. Conference on the mound is over with a 3-0 count here with 2 outs. Runner on second is John McGeehan, reached there on a sacrifice move there by Hale in the previous at-bat. This one is delivered, catching the inside corner there on the low part. 3-1 the count, taking all the way was Tyler Thaman. Mariners trying to avoid falling to 2 games below 500. Currently sit at 5-6, including a 1-6 mark on the road. And this one will miss here. It'll be a walk here. And so a runner on first and runner on second with 2 outs. That'll bring up Michael Hall. Walked in his previous at-bat, the catcher did. Hall did not play in the previous match of this game and enters this day and still is hitting a 263 mark, but his on-base percentage has improved. He has 1 stolen base to his name as well. He attends Montevelo, where he'll be entering his second year, the Mason Holland native. He did not appear this past season in college, but as a senior in high school, he earned first-team All-Conference and All-City honors after hitting .316 with 17 RBIs. This will be high fastball inside, missing ball 1. And Hoffman in these last couple of batters has just been missing the play. He just cannot find that strike zone right now. 1-0 the count here. 2 for Hoffman, though. 2 outs. Mariners trying to avoid going in an even bigger hole here in the bottom of the 4th with only a runner on first and second, though. Here comes the delivery to him. Catches the low part of the plate on the outside corner. 1-1 now the count. When Hoffman can hit, he hits outside corners very well, especially low, but today he cannot seem to find that strike zone. Check back here to second before the delivery. This will be high, really high. 2-1 now the count. Reminder that tomorrow, more Mariners action here on YouTube. 7:05 first pitch live from Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll be playing the Steam in Cincinnati. Strike 2, catching the outside part of the plate there. 2-2 now. The count is evened up. That is another interdivisional matchup here. This is an interdivisional matchup here as well. We only play interdivision opponents twice a year, either at home twice or on the road twice. Cut on and miss. Down goes swinging will be Michael Hall, and that will retire this side. Hall not happy about it either. But no runs score on no hits. 2 men abandoned on base with no errors. And we will now head to the top of the 5th. The score 2-1. Due up for the Mariners, top of the order. Blake Crossing, Jaron Lovely, and Chris Myers. They will go up against Damon Thacker here, entering his 5th inning of work. Mariners baseball here on YouTube. Do not touch that dial. I'll be right back. go. Here comes Blake Crossing, 2 for 2 on the day with single in the first and a single in the third. Both of those were leadoff singles, by the way, in those innings. And the switch hitter facing the righty again will be, of course, batting left. He'll be looking to continue his hot day from the plate and get this inning going right for the Mariners as they trail 2-1. Hello, I'm Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners for the summer of 2018. And it is now a cool night here as the sun continues to just finally disappear in the background to my left. Mariners, of course, dropped the first game of this doubleheader. They'll be trying to split it here now.
Dogs now half off. Once again, Burgers and Dogs half off for the remainder of
They are 5 and 6 on the road. They are 5 and 6 on the road. Only win on the road came in the first game against the Leprechauns, and they're trying to avoid falling into a 3-run hole, a 3-run losing streak. Sitting 4th in the division right now, entering this day. Trying to make some ground. They're now a game and a half behind the Green Giants of St. Clair. Here comes the delivery. High. And I tell you what, Crossing, if he wasn't crouching like he does in his batter's stance, would have hit him in the head if he didn't get out of the way. That was a pretty high and inside fastball. 1-0 now the count. Maybe it's because Donovan Thacker, the starting pitcher for the Joes, now on the mound for his 5th inning of work, is afraid of Crossing, who cuts on and misses there. He just couldn't get his bat to that one. 1-1 now the count. He swung through it. The 1-1 count, 2-1 the score. Leadoff hitter is Blake Crossing here in the top of the 5th. This one will just catch the outside of the plate at the corner. I don't know about that one, umpire, but it'll be called strike 2, 1-2 the count. Looking in is Thacker. He's got Crossing batting left. Here does the righty. He will look in. And now Crossing will call time and step out. Crossing entered this game hitting .229. He has done a lot better here, though, than in his previous appearances. This one is low, ball 2, 2-2 now the count evens up. He had not played well in his previous matchups, but here today, this shortstop has really turned it back on. He found that early first couple of seasons magic here, and he has certainly led the charge here. Checks his swing. They will rule he did not go around, so the count will be full now at 3-2. 3-2 the count. 2-1 the score. Nobody on as Crossing is the leadoff man. After him, it'll be Jaron Lovely, also 2 for 2 on the day as Blake Crossing. Both are one's a switch hitter, but both are batting left. Here comes the 3-2 delivery. Low and in the turf. That's ball 4. And so Blake Crossing will get aboard to lead off an inning for the 3rd time here today. And that'll bring up Jaron Lovely. 2 singles here for him back in the 1st and 3rd, both following up Blake Crossing getting aboard. So Jaron Lovely batting left.
Number 43, the right fielder, Jaron Lovely.
He will be looking to get aboard here to follow his teammate. See if they're aggressive here, which is a team mentality. See if they're aggressive with Crossing here. Crossing will take a decent lead off. Here comes the delivery. Cut on him. Missed there by Lovely. Crossing did not go. 0-1 now the count quickly here to Lovely. By the way, Lovely entered this day hitting .308. He has certainly improved his average in this game, hitting 2 for 2. Although in his last game, as he gets ready here for the 0-1 gather here by Thacker, he will set and deliver. This will be chopped foul, and 0-2 now quickly is the hole for Jaron Lovely, trying to get on top base for the 3rd time here in just as many many plate appearances. Jaron Lovely was 1 for 4, so on the day thus far, he is 3 for 6. Not a bad day at the ballpark here in the office for Jaron Lovely. Batting left, of course, against the right-handed pitcher. Here comes Thacker. He will set, gather, and deliver. This will be high, not chasing, ball 1, 1-2. Of course, for Donovan Thacker, wearing number 11, he is 1 for 1 with a 5.14 ERA. He's given up 1 earned run in 4 1/3 inning work thus far in this game. As he will gather, set, and deliver the 1-2. Cut on and miss there. Down goes swinging will be Jaron Lovely, the first time he's retired for the day. And that will bring up Chris Myers, 1 for 2 on the day, with a single back in the first. That was a string of 3 straight triples to lead off this game for the Mariners. And then Blake Crossing was scored on a sacrifice RBI ground out, which was also part of a double play. With 1 away, Blake Crossing on first. Look in here. Crossing looked like he wanted to go, taking a strike here on the inside low part of the plate. 0-1. Crossing looked like he wanted to go, but he kind of slipped up there. And so he will retake his lead. Thacker will deliver the 0-1. Inside. Held up his swing there was Myers. It'll be 1-1. The count 1-1, evened up with 1 out. Mariners have only scored 1 run to 2. They have 5 hits, though, in this game. None in the last 2 innings, though. But they have had 3 walks in the last 2 innings. Here comes the delivery. This will be chopped down off his leg and foul, so would have stayed fair if it wasn't off his leg. Now the count 1-2, and Myers is going to walk that one off. Crossing was off and running. He will head back to first. The count now 1-2 here to Chris Myers, the designated hitter. Having an all-right year thus far. Hitting .250. Of course, 1 for 2 in this game. And in the series, Chris Myers is 2 for 5. Crossing going all the way. He will slide in safely with a stolen base. And that will give Crossing a stolen base here. His first of the game. And for Crossing, that'll be his 3rd of the year. He was off and running on first movement there. He is now in scoring position. The count 2-2 after taking a ball there was Chris Myers, the designated hitter for the day. Again, Myers in this series is 2 for 5. 6th at bat in this series, which of course is also a doubleheader. Check back here to second. Before Thacker delivers, this will be low and in the turf. Well blocked there by Hall. Crossing will go back to second. The count is full, though, at 3-2 with 1 out. After going down quickly in the count 0-2, Chris Myers has a chance here to draw a walk or get a favorable pitch. We'll see what he does here, though, and of course it'll be up to what Damon Thacker and Donovan Thacker and Michael Hall decide they want to throw and catch. Here comes a throw back to second, well offline. Crossing had a decent leadoff, but because the throw was offline, not even a chance. Crossing slid back in safely. So funny that during these games on these turf fields, to watch how much those little black pellets that are in the turf get spread across that pitcher's mound. They usually don't start like that, but here comes the 3-2 delivery, payoff pitch just off the bat there. I mean, he check swinged. It looked like it was going to be a ball, but he ends up foul tipping it back to the backstop. 3-2 now the count. Anyway, as I was saying, and really on second base too, it's kind of bad here. How much those pellets just kind of get kicked up. Of course, with the powerful kicks that these pitchers have when they deliver. Here comes the 3-2 now. Looking for a sign is Thacker. He will gather. Here comes check back to second. Before the payoff pitch, this one is foul tipped just to stay alive off of his leg. Again, count remains full at 3-2. Chris Myers doing a great job of staying alive. Possibly a good hit here, and he could drive in that run from second. We'll see if he can do that here and try to tie the game. Due up after him will be the first baseman, Jake McCall. Had that RBI on the sacrifice ground out double play back in the first. That was the only run scored for the Mariners in this game. Check back here to second. Crossing got a decent lead. Here comes the delivery. Cut on and foul tipped again. And Chris Myers is just staying alive, getting his bat to that one. Might have been a little bit high, but he didn't want to take any chances on the high heater there. Count remains full at 3-2. If you're interested, Chris Myers has 4 RBIs on the year. Also 4 stolen bases as well. So if you could get him into a chance where he would have an open base in front of him, look for him to run. Here comes the delivery to him. This will be chopped right over to first. He is running, but taking the play all the way by himself will be the first baseman, Michael Hale. And that'll put the second runner to rest on the unassisted ground out there. That'll bring up Jake McCall, the runner, by the way, and Blake Crossing advances to third. So the tying run is now 90 feet away for Jake McCall, the first baseman. Had that sacrifice RBI. There is no sacrificing in this situation, though. It's a base hit to drive him in, or the Mariners go back to the dugout and back to the defense with no runs scored. The first pitch to him from Thacker. Here comes the delivery. Looked inside low. Ball one. Well, I guess it's not the only way the Mariners could score. There's no sacrifice play here, though. But the Mariners could score with Blake Crossing's speed on a play that gets away from the catcher. But right now the catcher in Hall has done a very great job in keeping the ball in front of him, blocking him up nicely. Thacker will gather, looking for his sign on the 1-0. He will deliver. This will, I guess, catch the low part of the plate. I guess the umpire is not using his kneecaps there. He's using his knees. He's using the pants. Which, by the way, his pants go decently below the knee, probably 2-3 inches below the knee for Jake McCall. Here comes the delivery, swung on, foul, tipped back. He chased the heat and only fouled it back. 1-2 now the count with 2 outs, runner on third. 1-2, 2-1 the score here, hometown team leading. Again, Mariners only going to 7 here in this one as part of doubleheader rules for the league. 1-2 count now here to McCall. Here comes the delivery from Thacker. This one will be tapped right to the second baseman. Routine play, thrown over to first, and that will end the inning on the 4-3 assisted ground out. So the Mariners once again get something in business, but just can't get them to score, which has been the theme of their road trip here, and just in general on the road. They just never seem to be able to get anything rolling. But Philip Hoffman will return to the mound for the Mariners. He will go up against Jared Kaufman. Trey Compton and Chandler Miller due up for the Joes. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. They trail 2-1. I'll be right back. This will bring up number 2, Jared Kaufman, second baseman. 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up. Again, he likes to button his shirt about halfway up here, his jersey, so of course has a necklace that swings all over the place as well. Philip Hoffman will deliver the first pitch to Kaufman. This will be foul tipped off the bat. He tried to hold up, but he just went around enough to get his bat just to it. Foul tip towards the first base dugout. Scores from around the league. St. Clair Green Giants and Lake Erie Monarchs tied at 4. Game still on hold because of the rain. That may actually have been moved to finish that game up. Xenia Scouts lead over the Southern Ohio Copperheads 8-3. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. This one will be a high fastball missing there by Hoffman. 1-1 the count evens up. Xavier Scouts 8-3 on the road against the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Richmond Jazz finish up a 5-4 victory over the Cincinnati Steam at home. So the Steam will be coming off a loss when we face them tomorrow. This one is low and in the turf, ball 2, 2-1. Saginaw Sugar Beets beat the Muskegon Clippers 6-1 at home. And that is all your scores from round. Galleons and Graders and Licking County Settlers were supposed to play in Licking County territory. That game was canceled, as well as the Irish Hill Leprechauns hosting Lima Locos. That game was also canceled and moved. Those are your scores from around the league. 2-2 after that one is foul tipped off. Leadoff hitter in Kaufman. Grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up, his only at bat, 0 for 1. Here comes the 2-2 delivery. This one will be hit high into left field. R.J. Williams going back and off against the wall, so it looks like it will be a double as Kaufman will go in standing. And so a leadoff double there for Jared Kaufman in the bottom of the 5th to bring up Trey Compton. 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in the first until he was caught stealing. Looked like they might be able to get something going in that first inning. Then he flew out to center his last time up. R.J. Williams tried to make a play on that one, just couldn't get back far enough and keep his eyes on it. We will have a meeting on the mound, and so it looks like that will be the day here for Philip Hoffman. With nobody out, we will talk about the new pitcher when we return. You're listening to Mariners Baseball with a 2-1 deficit for the Grand Lake Mariners here on YouTube. So Tommy Seamer will now step on the mound for the Mariners here in this one. As the Mariners trail 2-1, he will face Trey Compton. A little bit more on Seamer here. Player number 6 hasn't allowed a run yet in his 2 1/3 inning pitched in his only appearance thus far on the year. This will be his second one. Liberty Township, Ohio native, attends Bluffton, where he'll be entering his second season there. He had 4 strikeouts in his last appearance to just 1 to no walks. Book is not yet closed because responsible for the man on second is Philip Hoffman, but he only went 4 innings, allowing 4 hits, 3 walks, and struck out 4. We'll see what Seamer can do now here on the mound against the left fielder. Again, the left fielder is 1 for 2 on the day, but was caught stealing back in the first off of his leadoff single. Seamer will gather and deliver the right-hander fast there, but outside and high, ball 1. He's got a wicked fastball. It leaves his hand in a hurry. Does Seamer, wearing number 6. He's got a high gather at the face before he will step off. Nobody covering at second, so there's no throw. But it does the objective of scaring Kaufman back to second. And now we're going to have a conversation between the second baseman and Seamer. Of course, second baseman Coney. They're going to have a conversation because something was off there. I guess it was a smart play by Seamer not to throw that back. Well, Seamer will step back on. He will get ready for his next pitch. He will deliver. This one will be fouled off and out of play past the first base dugout. 1-1 now the count here. Again, that ball on the, it's a quick windup for Seamer and a very quick delivery. It leaves his hand in a hurry as he has a 1-1 count here. Here comes the delivery. Outside and low, ball 2, 2-1 now the count. Holding up on his swing was Compton, the left fielder. Seamer will look in. He will gather and deliver. This will be outside again. Ball 3, 3-1. So Tommy Seamer here to begin this inning, having a hard time of finding the zone. He keeps missing outside. Again, he hasn't walked anybody on the year, and he's in danger of giving his first free base here with a 3-1 count. He will gather and deliver. This will be cut on and missed. Count full now at 3-2. He threw that one by Compton, who thought he might have been able to get a 2-run shot here off of that one. Check back to second. Here's the payoff pitch. Hit deep into center. Stacy will come underneath that one, make the play, and they will throw back in to Crossing, the cutoff man, because it looks like perhaps that Jared Kaufman would consider running, but he ran back. So now Chandler Miller will now step in. Had an RBI single back in the third inning. Struck out in the first, making him 1 for 2 on the day. He's on the game. Tommy Seamer records the first out and keeps that runner at bay. By the way, for Miller, he was 0 for 3 in the first game, so he's 1 for 5. Throw down to third. In time, they'll get him. Caught trying to steal third will be Jared Kaufman. And like I said, Tyson Hayes has got a cannon up behind the plate. Do not try to steal on Hayes and take that walk out to the dugout. And now the book is officially closed on Hoffman, allowing 2 runs, both of them earned. He's still in line for the loss, though, in those 4 innings. This will be cut on and missed. 1-1 now the count. Seamer with a lot of hope now here, with not having to worry about anybody on base. He can just focus on the batter. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. This will miss outside. 2-1 the count. 2 outs, 2-1 the score. Seamer on the mound. The batter is Chandler Miller. 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. 1 and 2 in the game with an RBI. And 1 for 5 on the day, including the doubleheader. Missing outside now, count 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 delivery. Inside low, so Seamer will put a man on base with 2 outs. Although not now at first, as opposed to in scoring position at second. But that will bring up an 0 for 2 man on Justin McConnell. McConnell in the previous game was 1 for 3, but was an RBI triple. Then he scored on a wild pitch not long after. So on the day, he is 1 for 5 in both these games, but on this game, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. He's batting right against the righty. Throwback here to first to McCall. McCall catches it, puts a tag on, but back safely is Miller. Chandler Miller, if you're wondering about his ability to run, he does not have a stolen base yet. This will be called strike to catching the inside part of the zone. The first pitch of the at-bat, 0-1. Seamer gets his first pitch strike there for the first time today. He had 8 doubles, by the way, with Chandler Miller in his 42 starts with 19 RBIs. Strike 2 called on the swing there. And down quickly in the count now is McConnell, 0-2. Mariners keeping this one close. Here, we'll see if Seamer can do a great job. Here comes the throw in. This one will get away from Hayes as it was inside. And so advancing on the wild pitch there will be Chandler Miller. He'll be in scoring position now with a 1-2 count here to Justin McConnell. Justin McConnell, what I've seen from him is a lot of willingness to chase, but he hasn't struck out a lot. He does a good job of fouling pitches off and getting his favorable count, as this one's outside. 2-2. And for Seamer, what I've seen in this, just his first few batters faced, this will be the third batter faced, it's that outside corner. He's trying to nail it on the low side outside corner. He keeps missing, though, as the count is evened up at 2-2 here to McConnell. We'll see if he can finish it off. Here comes the 2-2. Chopped into center field, and they will go ahead and send Miller home. Throw will not even come to the plate. They will hold it to a single, and so now an RBI single there for McConnell. The count now 3-1.
Number 9.
3-1 now the score here. As I was saying, they did keep it close. It's still close, only a 2-run game. This will now bring up Griffin Dorsching, the designated hitter, had a home run back in the second. And he struck out swinging back in the fourth. He'll be facing Seamer. What I've seen is this could be a very interesting matchup because Dorsching, somebody likes to run. The runner goes. He goes in sliding, but this one was foul tipped by Dorsching. Dorsching is a man who loves to swing, and he loves to try to get the ball out of the park. Off of Seamer, if he could blow those fastballs by him, they've got a lot of velocity to them. You can just tell with the eye test. I don't have official reading on them because I don't have a speed gun, but you can just tell the way it leaves his hand, the way it travels. It's a lot of speed to that ball. Here comes Seamer. He will gather, set, deliver. Runner on first. Here comes the delivery. High missing ball. 1. 1-1 the count here now to Dorscher. He fouled off the first pitch. That was a pitch he did chase, by the way, for strike 2 in his pass at bat. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. This one will be foul tipped into the netting. It looked like he was thinking 5-1 with that one, but he foul tips it off. Didn't get his barrel of the bat to the ball. 1-2 now the count. He's in the hole, and Dorsching. Seamer trying to get out of an inning with only allowing the 1 run, which is charged to him, and not the starting pitcher in Hoffman. The 1-2 delivery. Runner goes. Throw will not be in time. It'll actually get out into center field, so this will allow the runner in Chandler Miller to go to second. So, correction to Justin McConnell. So, stolen base and then advancing the runner on the E2 there. The count now 2-2. And if you're Seamer, don't worry there about McConnell on third base. Just get this strikeout on the 2-2 count. Time called here by the catcher. Seamer wanted a new ball. 3-1 the score. 5 hits apiece for each team. Mariners in the bottom of the fifth, trying to keep this game at a 2-run game. Here comes the delivery. Strike 3 called. Down on strikes goes Dorsching, and that will retire the side, but not before 1 run scored on 1 hit.
All right, Robbie,
1 error
here in the ballpark.
and a single man left on base. We will now head to the top of the 6th. Donovan Thacker expected to return to the mound here. He will face Ryan Stacy, Justin Diaz, and RJ Williams, the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Mariners. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. I'll be right back.
The breakfast and lunch.
New pitcher on the mound here for the Joes. It'll be William McLean, righty. He will be attending Bowling Green State University from Mason, Ohio. Standing at 6'4". He is 0 for 1 on the season with a 7.71 ERA and 4 total appearances. This will be his 5th one. Ryan Stacy, the 5 hitter, the center fielder, 0 for 2 on the day, will now be up to face McLean. Here comes the pitch to him. This will be low and in the dirt. Actually, gets past the catcher, but the catcher lets that one go as there's nobody on bases. This is the leadoff hitter, after all, in Ryan Stacy. Trying to provide a spark here to the offense. Be the first batter for McLean. Here comes the delivery to him. Cut on and missed, though. Stacy wanted to provide a spark in the delivery of a long ball there. He cuts on a ball. He cuts and misses on a ball on the outside of the zone there. 1-1 now the count. Score 3-1. Mariners trailing to the Joes here on the road. Here comes the 3-1 delivery. Cut on and fouled into the screening there. Goes down now on 1-2. Meeting on the mound here between McLean and the catcher Hall now. I guess McLean did not like, or Hall did not like what he was seeing. Perhaps the signs were off. The count now 1-2. Got crossed up somewhere maybe. Anyway, the count now 1-2 to Ryan Stacy here. As the delivery to him is cut on and I guess just fouled off. So the count remains at 1-2. Ryan Stacy, by the way, has 2 home runs to his name. He has 2 of the 4 home runs for the Mariners on the season. He also delivered the first 2 as well. Count now 2-2. I guess it wasn't actually cut on. This one will be hit off the bat but fouled down the left field line and out of play. Count now at 2-2. Still remaining. 3-1 the score. Ryan Stacy, leadoff batter here for the top of the 6th. The Mariners have 2 chances to try to get this score tied or take a lead here because this game only goes to 7. This will be high and outside. McLean, wow. The count is now full. Tell you what. For McLean, 0-1. He's got very bad command issues. He has struck out 7, walked 1, but here today he has not looked sharp at all. He has thrown some really wild balls, but he's got the payoff pitch here. It'll be fouled off the bat of Stacy, who's just a little bit behind at that one. Keeps himself alive at 3-2. Again, I guess for Stacy, you want to foul these off until you just want to foul these off until you get that pitch that ends up outside, or you get a nice salami to hit. As this one again will be fouled off and towards the first base dugout. Because I tell you what, McLean, he can throw strikes, but we've seen just some really bad ones here that just get away from the catcher. The count remains at 3-2 again. Stacy having a great at bat here, battling with McLean, doing his job, just trying to get aboard. Only one time today the Mariners have not gotten their leadoff runner man aboard. Here comes the 3-2 delivery. This will be low and in the dirt. And so 5 out of 6 innings here thus far. Mariners will get their leadoff man aboard. Let's see if they can hold on, as Justin Diaz has 2 plate appearances and 2 walks. He will now step into the right-hander's batter's box. He stole a base back in the 4th and then advanced to second on a wild pitch back in the 2nd. So he's been on second twice. Let's see if he can deliver a good hit here off of McLean. The check in. The gather and deliver. This will be called strike as it catches the low part of the plate. Diaz not agreeing with the call, but he will chew his tongue, swallow his words, and step back in. And a count 0-1 now, not in his favor. McLean will throw back to first. Falling back and sliding will be Stacy. McLean, a right-handed pitcher's got a semi-sidearm here. I'll try to describe his delivery to you. He will gather here at the waist and deliver. It's a semi-sidearm as this one is low and in the turf inside. 1-1 now the count here to Diaz. Semi-sidearm, it starts like it's going to be a traditional sidearm, then it kind of comes up about halfway or so. It's not a traditional kind of pitch, but it's definitely not a sidearm. He's got a funky delivery, but however you learn to throw and however you can pitch, if you can do it well, as McLean the Bowling Green Falcon. Call timeout here by Diaz before you can deliver the 1-1 delivery. For McLean, 0-1. Already mentioned that. From Mason, Ohio, standing at 6'4". He will deliver the 1-1. Cut on and missed there by Diaz. Diaz was thinking, sending that one at least 390 feet, if not farther. Again, that's straightaway center, 390 feet. I did notice this. There is a small group of, I believe, townhouses or maybe just houses set up right behind the field. So they put up a protective netting in left field to throw back to first here. Not in time. The count still remains at 1-2. Stacy gets back in safely. The houses, though, they've, I guess, decided that it's a good place to build a ballpark. I guess to the houses, you can sit there in the window and watch baseball. As McLean will gather and throw back to first. Stacy will dive back in time. But of course, you don't want your windows knocked in from a baseball, so the idea was build a net. And so that's what they did. Also in the background, I believe it's a church. It's got a nice kind of old-timey kind of top with the cross on top as well. Kind of reminds you of the top of one of the towers at Hogwarts Castle. Taking all the way here, low fastball, 2-2. It's a very small town, Hamilton, Ohio. A little bit bigger than Salina. Very peaceful as the night has fallen. Here, sun has gone completely away. Small breeze coming to my back, keeping my papers active. 2-2 delivery here. Outside missing. Full count now here to Diaz with nobody away. Diaz trying to draw his third walk or get something to cut here and into the outfield. I got to imagine they might think about sending Ryan Stacy here on the hit. Here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch. They do send him. It'll be a walk. Outside and high, so back-to-back walks to lead off this inning for McLean. Nobody away. R.J. Williams will now step up. He is 0 for 1 with a walk, though, back in the fourth, so hasn't gotten a hit, but he has reached the bags. And with nobody out, runner on first, named Justin Diaz. Runner on second, named Ryan Stacy. The left fielder, left-handed batter. And now we're going to have a say, hold up, says the assistant coach for the Hamilton Joes. We're going to have a meeting on the mound. Here, and the entire infield's going to come in. They aren't going to take the ball from him. Looked like McLean was ready to give it up. He actually had it in his hand. He looked like he was ready. But they do have somebody up in the bullpen for the Joes. Can't see who it is because of distance. Don't have binoculars. I think I might have seen a 23, which would be Jack Silva. Left-handed pitcher. If that's him, he would be a solid replacement with a 1.35 ERA. But the umpire comes and breaks up the meeting on the mound. The entire infield will take its stance. There was a meeting here between the Mariners as well, between the men on base and the men, and of course R.J. Williams, who's going to be batting with nobody out. 3-1 your score. R.J. Williams has a chance here to try to do something, or just try to get on, load up the count here for Tyson Hayes. Either way you look at it, if you're RJ, you just want to get on base here safely. Showing bunt, RJ will go. Beautiful bunt there, right back to the catcher. Only play is to first, and they will just beat him. So there's now one away on the sacrifice bunt there. But runners advance to second and third for Tyson Hayes to now come up and try.
Number 16, the catcher and beer batter, Tyson Hayes.
Tyson Hayes 0 for 2, struck out back in the second. One of 3 strikeout victims to the starter. By the way, to get you the final numbers on the starter for the Joes, Donovan Thacker. 5 innings, only allowing the 1 run, as this one from McLean is low and outside. Ball 1. He went 5 innings, only allowing the 1 run, 5 hits, 4 walks, and 3 Ks to him today. Not helping his strikeouts to ball ratio. Here comes the delivery. This one will be cut. It'll get into the outfield. Diving play, stacked back. Let me try that again. A diving play stopped the ball from getting deep into the outfield and allowing 2 to score, but it'll be an RBI single there by Tyson Hayes. I apologize, my tongue got a little tied there. Scoring on the play was Ryan Stacy. So now the Mariners are back within run, and that within 1 run, and then I'll bring up Zach Coney. 0 for 2 today. Grounded out back to the catcher in his first at-bat, and then grounded out in his most recent at-bat. And now we are going to have a pitching change, I do believe, here. McLean's day is done as another meeting on the mound occurs. Are we going to have another pitching change? I believe the rule is if you... Yes, here he comes. Okay. Say, the rule is if you have 2 mound visits within the 1 inning, it's a pitching change. So Zach Coney will face the new pitcher. We will talk all about him and also get you the final numbers here on McLean when they are available, but he only goes a third of an inning here from Hamilton, Ohio. Step aside, I'll be right back. Mariners only down by 1, 3-2 the score. So for William McLean, right-handed pitcher, only went a third of an inning, 1 hit allowed, which was an RBI single by Tyson Hayes. 2 walks issued, no punch-outs. Runners at the corners now for Jack Silva, the new lefty on the mound. 6 foot tall from Katy, Texas, attends Whittier Junior College. He is senior there, political science major, 1.35 ERA, 6 2/3 innings work. This will be his 3rd appearance of the year for Whittier. He had 10 appearances, including 4 starts, went 2-2.
Number 42 from Creighton University.
He had 1 save in 28 innings pitched, a 7.07 ERA.
Batting for Coney.
And we now have a pinch hitter. Number 42, Evan Spry, will now step in. So Zach Coney's day is done, 0 for 2. Spry will be the new batter in the pitch hitting situation. I assume he might take over second base as well. We will see for sure. Here comes the step off here by Silva for Spry. He entered the day hitting .345, so much better option. He can play some third base. This one will be low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. So I got to imagine the defensive change here would be Spry would go to third base and Diaz would go over to second, would be my guess. Spry did bat in the previous game. He led off. He was 0 for 2, had a couple walks in his most recent at-bat, or his last 2 at-bats in the last game. The 1-0 delivery here will be inside and in the turf, running and heading to second on the stolen base there for Tyson Hayes. And, you know, not a lot of times you see catchers stealing bases, because this one was not getting away from Hall, but they said, I heard them say that they are not afraid to run with their catchers. They have very athletic catchers. They're young, so their knees aren't completely worn out yet. Now the count 2-0 here to Spry. Here comes the delivery to him. This one will be chopped into the gap into right field. This will score 1. The game is tied, and they're going to hold up Spry at third. It'll be an RBI single for Evan Spry. and the game is tied at 3. The Mariners have some life here in the top of the 6th. That run, by the way, will be credited to McClain. He is responsible still for the man on third and Tyson Hayes. Runners at the corners, 1 out. That'll bring up Blake Crossing. Now going up against a left-handed pitcher, he will bat right for the switch hitter. We'll see what he can do from there. Again, 2 for 2 on the day with a walk in his most recent at-bat, as we are now back at the top of the order. He has 2 singles before that. He'll look at a strike that just catches the outside of the plate. 0-1 the count here to Crossing. Runner at third, Tyson Hayes. Charge to McClain. He would be the 3rd run against McClain if that were to hold. Here comes the delivery. This one will be low and in the turf, but gathered up there nicely by Hall. Runners hold. Runner at first, with the RBI single most recently, is Evan Spry. Smart pinch hitting situation there for head coach Damon Hacker to bring in Spry, who's got a better bet. So the count 1-1 here now to Crossing. Crossing, again, has reached base all 3 times he's been at the plate. 2 hits and a walk. Throwback to first here. I mean, he telegraphed that throwback, though. There's some, pitchers that they snap it back. It's like very quick to first. But for Silva, it was very obvious. He stepped off and then slowly looped it over to his first baseman. Spry read it all the way, got back safely. 1-1 the count here. 1-1 count here, tied at 3. Crossing will swing, pop this one high into foul territory, and will just get out of play just off the top of the fence. And the first baseman there in Hale thought he was going to have a play at that one. But the count now 1-2 here to Crossing off that foul tip out of play. They just went off the fence, and obviously you can't have it come off the fence and into your glove. That wouldn't be considered an out. So here's the 1-2 count now here to Crossing. Nobody on second, but the runners at the corners. Silva will gather. The lefty will look back to first. He will deliver. Here comes the 1-2. Runners go. This one will be fouled back into the protective netting. Runners, well, at least Spry went. Of course, at third base, you're going to hold up. You don't have to go. With only 1 out, though, the Mariners have tied this game up with a 2 spot on the board. A couple of back-to-back RBI singles by Tyson Hayes and then Evan Spry, who pinched hit for Zach Coney. 1-2 now count here to Blake Crossing, switch hitter batting right. Look back to first here by Silva before delivering the 1-2. Check swing. They will say he did not go. It actually was not a check swing. It bounced off Hale. So it'll actually be ball 2. And Hale will move in there. Or correction, Spry will now be on second. Count now at 2-2 with 1 out. Both runners in scoring positions and Crossing with a chance to really get this one going for the Mariners now. As they have it tied at 3. Here comes the delivery from Silva. Cracked off the bat to right to the first baseman. And they will throw back to second. They will get a run down situation. It's going to be a throwing error on the first baseman. The go-ahead run will score for the Mariners and Tyson Hayes. It will not count, though. And advancing to third, I don't know if that was planned, but it was a fielder's choice there. I don't know if that was a planned kind of play, but Evan Spry was caught in no man's land between second and third. That will not be an earned run, though, because I do believe that should be ruled an error. But the 4-3 lead, so the book is now closed here on Hayes. That will be the first error on the E3 there. Not an earned run. Here comes the delivery. Cut on and missed there by the batter, Jaron Lovely. Struck out swinging his last time up. Before that, he had 2 singles. So for McClain, he allowed 3 total runs, 2 of which were earned. Oh, 1 here to Jaron Lovely, who cuts, swings, tips it back. Mariners now with a 4-3 lead. And the bullpen is up and going. If Lovely were to reach, it would be Chris Myers due up. But with 2 outs here, Lovely has got to get himself aboard to give Chris Myers now a chance And a single here to get a 2-run, an extra insurance run would be what you would want from Lovely here. 2 for 3 on the day as he looks at a fastball low. 1 and 2 now that count. The time is 10:22 local time. This has been the longest inning of the game here. It is the top of the 6th. A check in by Silva, the left-handed reliever. He will gather at the neck, deliver, low fastball. Count now at 2 and 2. Count is evened up at 2 and 2. Glad I watch carefully and keep the count because the scoreboard here, they are doing a terrible job of keeping up with the counts here in Hamilton, Ohio. Now it corrects itself to 2 and 2. Batter is Jaron Lovely with the 2-2 count. Runner on third. Cracks off the bat. This one is high, deep into right. Nope, doesn't really get deep into right field. Carries a lot of air on the F7 in left field. Correction, Jaron Lovely will go down. He is now 2 for 4. But not before the Mariners can score. 3 runs on a total
All right, Robbie, one more time,
of
Mike,
2
it's all
hits.
yours.
Only one of those runs were earned, though.
Raffle 4. Nope, I don't have the bucket.
1 error
I need sleep.
and 2 men left on base. Well, the Mariners will now try to defend the 4-3 lead. Due up for the
I appreciate this.
Joes will be John
Alright,
McLean,
Last one.
Michael Hale, and
is
Tyler
also
Fayman. Thank you for listening to
baseball,
Mariners
softball,
Baseball right here on
final,
YouTube. Do not touch
Ralph
the dial. We'll be right
Athletic
back. Welcome back out to Hamilton, Ohio. Got a couple changes here for the Mariners. Van Acker will actually come in to play second base for the Mariners.
From the University of Charleston, Jordan Peck.
So
now pitches
Diaz will
Peck.
stay at third. My guess was wrong. Van Acker will now come into play second. So Evan Spry did his job. He came in, got the one RBI there.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Joes. Number 10, the center fielder.
And this will now
Sean
also
McKee.
a defensive change. New pitcher on the mound, Jordan Peck will come out. Right-hander. Jordan Peck is 1 for 0 with a 3 ERA and 6 innings pitched. This will be his fourth appearance on the year. Has struck out 4 and walked only 1. He will now try to get the 6-out save. I would assume this one is delivered outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count here. Jordan McGee, the batter, of course, center fielder. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. I'd like to thank you all for listening here. Mariners Baseball live on YouTube. They took a 4-3 lead. Cut on and missed there by McGee. Took a 4-3 lead in the top of this inning. Now they'll try to defend it for the next 2. And if they can, they will split the series and this doubleheader with the Joes. They will advance back to 500 at 6-6 and go to 2-6 on the road. This is smoked out into center field, running over and making the catch will be center fielder and Ryan Stacy. On the F8, there's one away, and that will bring up Michael Hale, 0 for 2, grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up, and then also flew out back in the second. It's getting late, and thank you all for sticking with me here on YouTube. About over 2 hours now into this game. Score 4-3. Here comes the delivery. High fastball inside, missing. 1-0 the count here now to Michael Hale. Again, 0 for 2. The first baseman started the first game of this DH, this doubleheader as the DH. He was 1 for 3 in that game. So in this day so far, he is 2. He is 1 for 5. 2-0 as this one misses. Here comes the 2-0 delivery from Peck. This will catch the outside corner. Ball 1, or strike 1. 2-1 the count. Hamilton fans starting to get a little bit restless. By the way, the win for the Joes snapped an 8-game losing streak. So they got back in the win column after dropping 8 straight as this one misses outside. 3-1. Peck trying to get back into a favorable count. Down in the hole now. 3-1 the count. Here comes the delivery. This will be outside. He'll take his base. 1 out walk here by Peck. And that will bring on Tyler Thayman.
Number 21.
0 for 1 of the day with a walk back in the 5th. And back in the 4th is the right fielder. Yeah, the Hamilton Joes started off 2-0. They were really happy, and then they dropped their next 8 straight before getting a win against the Mariners in the first game of this doubleheader. And now they will be looking to try to get a 2-game, quote-unquote, streak going. This one's delivered, fouled back, and out of play just over the netting. It hit something. I heard it hit something, plastic or maybe a car or something. Made a nice thump. 0-1 the count here now with 1 out, runner on first. Peck looks in for his sign. Number 12 for the Mariners, 6'4" from Troy, Ohio. Runner goes, throw from Hayes, well in time. Cross will get him out. He will be caught stealing. Do not run on Tyson Hayes. 2-6 is the ruling on that one. So now there are 2 out. Count at 1-1. And a long trip back to the dugout for Hale. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Swiped into left field. RJ will cut it off. And that'll be a 2-out base runner now for the Hamilton Joes. And maybe he will think twice about trying to run on Hayes. This will now bring up catcher Michael Hall, who had half his catcher's gear on because he wasn't sure if he would be coming out for this at-bat. He is 0 for 1 of the day with a walk back in the 3rd. He will be trying to keep this inning going as the Mariners hold that 4-3 lead. It's 7 hits for the Mariners, just 6 for the Joes. Check in here by Peck before he gathers. He will deliver. Smoked right back to Peck. He will make the catch. It'll line right back to the catcher. What a play there by Peck to reach his glove out. And the Mariners will carry the 4-3 lead to the top of the 7th. Try to add some insurance before they will defend in the bottom of the 7th. Reminder, this game only goes to 7 unless more are needed. 2 up for the Mariners to try to get that insurance will be Chris Myers, Jake McCall, and then Ryan Stacy. Good guys to try to get you some insurance. You're listening to Mariners Baseball right here on YouTube. Do not leave.
If your number
We are back out here in Hamilton, Ohio. The Mariners with one more chance to add some insurance to their 4-3 lead. Again, they took that 4-3 lead after putting a 3 spot at the top of the 6th. It will be Chris Myers, Jake McCall, and Ryan Stacy due up for the Mariners. Chris Myers 1 for 3 on the game with a single back in the second. He'll be trying to get a lead off something here.
Leading off for the Mariners in the
He is
top
officially
half of the
2 for 6
Number 40,
on the game.
designated hitter, Chris Myers.
He started in the last one. The Mariners can keep this inning going here, and then of course they will come out and try to defend the lead in the bottom of the 7th, however big that lead may be. It is still Silva on the mound here, the lefty for the Joes. Nobody up in the bullpen. He will probably be the last man to face. Cut on and miss there by Stacy. 0-1 the count quickly. 0-1 count. Silva will gather. He will deliver to Stacy. This will be cut on and missed by Stacy again. Quickly in the count. 0-2 for number 40. Chris Myers. Correction, this is not Ryan Stacy. This is Chris Myers. I apologize for misidentifying him. Identity theft is not a joke. Jim. 0-2 the count. Here comes the delivery. This will be a high fastball, not chasing. Count goes to 1-2. You know what? Mariners hold on to that 1-run lead. Also a 1-hit lead, if you were to count that too. Both teams have committed an error. By the way, that error allowed the Mariners to score. Strike 3 called. Stacy goes out looking, not happy about it. But he will go back to the dugout looking. There's one away. That will bring up Jake McCaw.
Number 50, the first baseman.
0 for
Jake
2 on the day with a
McCall.
sacrifice RBI back in the first. Other than that, it's been a couple of ground outs for him. With one away, 4-3 your score. Silva will gather. He will deliver to McCall. This will catch the outside of the plate. Strike 1. For McCall, wearing number 50, entered this game, 250 hitting. He has since not been able to collect a hit, but he did get, as this one is thrown ball 1, getting back to the backstop. 1-1 the count now. He added his 7th RBI of the game, though. Since Illinois State, he's from Bloomington, Illinois. Illinois State, he had 14 appearances with 12 starts, hitting 182 with a .315 on-base percentage. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. This will be a high fastball, missing 1, 2-1. .315 on-base percentage, 4 doubles, 5 RBIs. Before that, he went to Normal Community High, where he had a 2-year starter, hitting .419 with a .557 on-base percentage, 5 home runs, 32 RBIs. He was a unanimous All-Big 12 selection. This is all in his senior year. This one is popped past third base line. Out of play. 2-2 the count, still full. He was a team captain, team MVP, and a conference title, and he also earned a conference title as a senior. His brother Luke played baseball at North Central College. 2-2 the count here to the man from Illinois State. Here comes the delivery from Silva. This will be fouled off into the parking lot, and we'll go again at 2-2. This one went way into the parking lot. May have actually hit a second part of the building that we have here. 2-2 the count. A check in here from Silva. He waves off the first sign, but gets the second one. Says, okay, I'll go with that one. Gathers at the belt before bringing it up to his hat. He will deliver the 2-2. This will be a high fastball outside. 3-2. The count is full here to Jake McCall. Looks like in the Mariners bullpen it is Tyler Lunicki warming up. Number 1. Maybe he will be brought in to try and get the save for the Mariners. And this one is inside, ball 4, high. A 1-out base runner for the Mariners and Jake McCall. Doesn't have a stolen base yet, but they might be aggressive and try to run with him. That'll be Ryan Stacy now to come up. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout back in the 4th, but he walked in and scored a run against McLean back in the 6th. Let's see what he can do now with 1 out and a base runner. He'll cut on and miss on this first one, 0-1. Mariners being very aggressive here. All 3 batters have swung at the first pitch. One resulted One ended up going down looking, the other drew a walk. So back-to-back results. Polar opposite results for the Mariners. 0-1 count here now to Ryan Stacy. Walked in his most recent at-bat back in the 6th. He led off the 6th with that walk. He'll look at a fastball that catches the inside corner, 0-2. 4-3 the score. Ryan Stacy, third batter here in this inning. He's the 6th batter to face up against this pitcher in Silva. Jack Silva, the lefty, delivers. This one will be fouled back into the protective netting. 0-2 the count remains. Jack Silva, the Katy, Texas native, 1.35 ERA. Third appearance of the year. Political science major at Whittier. Count 0-2 here to his opponent, Ryan Stacy. Ryan Stacy, the left-handed batter, trying to get something going here. Here comes the delivery. This will be smoked. Great block up there by the first baseman, though. It'll advance the runner to second. An unassisted ground out there for Stacy. That'll bring up Justin Diaz. 3 plate appearances, 3 walks. Runner now at second. Third baseman of the day, Justin Diaz, has played most of his games on second. Silva will talk with his catcher real quickly. What to discuss here with this man who has reached base 3 times in 3 plate appearances, has not drawn a hit, though. 2 outs, runner on second. Diaz would love to get his first hit of the game. And right now, for me, he would have to be my most patient player of the game, at least, with those 3 walks. He looks at a strike, low fastball there. 1 and 0-1 now the count. Again, he doesn't like, I don't think he agrees with some of these low fastball calls. I'm not quite too fond of them either. But when he wears his shorts with it about 2 inches below his knees, the way he wears his pants and his socks, that might be misjudged as the knee. This is called another low fastball, strike 2. He's going to, I don't know what the umpire's looking at. That's a ball. That's low. That one was even lower than the first one. But he's right there, and I'm high up, so we're going to just have to take his word for it. 0-2, runner on second. Here comes the delivery to him. This will be outside, ball 1, 1-3. They thought they maybe have gotten to Justin Diaz to chase there. He did not. Justin Diaz also has stolen a base. He also scored a run. He's been on second with a wild pitch as well, so he's done it all. He's been a well-used man here. Here comes the look back to second at Jake McCall. This one, a low ball in the turf, 2-2. Gathered up there nicely by Hall. Bats have really worked here for the Mariners today. They have registered a total of 7 hits. And this is the 7th inning. They have not recorded a hit in this inning yet, but they do have a base runner who walked and then advanced on a fielder's choice to first. This one will be cut on and missed by Diaz. He will go down swinging. And so the Mariners will have 3 outs to try to defend this lead. We will see who comes out to the mound here to defend it. You're listening to Mariners Baseball right here on YouTube. 4-3, they lead here going into the bottom of the 7th and the final inning due to doubleheader rules of the Great Lake Summer League. Thank you for listening. I'll be right back. next day is done. He went 1 inning, did not allow a run. He did his job. He allowed 1 hit, walked 1, did not strike anybody. The first closing situation, the first save opportunity for the Mariners. And the ball will be handed to Tyler Luedeke, the right-handed pitcher out of Wright State. If I sound like I'm yelling, it's because I swear they just turned up the speaker. But anyway, Luedeke does not have a record. He is a 6 ERA and 3 innings of pitch. This will be his 3rd appearance. He has struck out 1, walked 3. The Wright State man in college had 5 appearances. Did not allow a run in 3 1/3 inning pitched for the Horizon League winners.
Number 2, the second baseman.
For the Mariners, they will be going up against these 9-1-2 hitters. It'll be Jared Kaufman, Tyler Compton, and Chandler Miller due up for the Joes. Tyler Luedeke will gather. He will set. He will deliver. Strike 1 called, catches the low part of the zone, 0-1. Luedeke will look in for his sign. He will gather. Wright State man wearing number 1 going up against Kaufman. He will deliver. The 0-1 cut on and missed there by Kaufman. Kaufman, by the way, 1 for 2 on the day, grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Had a double but was caught trying to steal 3rd back in the 5th. This is his 3rd at-bat. He'll be going up against Luedeke. A check in here. 0-2 the count here in favor of your Grand Lake Mariners with that 4-3 lead. Here comes the delivery. Cut on and missed. And 2 more outs here for Luedeke and the Mariners to get the 4-3 win here on the road. Trey Compton, 1 for 3 on the day with a single back in the 1st, and he was caught stealing in that 3rd inning. Again, he was the first of 3 victims to Tyson Hayes' brilliant defensive work behind the catcher's mound. Here comes the delivery. This one will be well outside, ball 1, also low. 1-0 the count here to Compton. After Compton, it will be Chandler Miller. 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the 3rd. Cut on and missed. The count goes to 1-1. RBI single back in the 3rd for Miller, but he's the next batter. Trey Compton had that 1 single. He is now in the count 1-1 with Luedeke. With 1 out, 4-3 your score. Luedeke will gather. He will set and deliver the 1-1. Tapped foul. The count goes 1-2. Mariners in favor here, trying to get their 2nd road win and split this series and this doubleheader with the Joes. Again, this game only goes 7, which is why the bottom of this 7th is the save opportunity. Here comes the delivery for Luedeke. This will be outside, 2-2. Saw if he could get into chase there. He did not. Count goes to 2-2. First time the Mariners have had a save situation. Their only other 1-run ball game. Here comes the delivery. Cut on and missed. And now goes swinging Luedeke with back-to-back strikeouts here. And the Joes are down to their last 2 outs. That is the 2nd and 3rd strikeouts, by the way, for Luedeke on the season. And now Chandler Miller is the last hope. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the 3rd and a walk back in the 5th. And then he was caught trying to steal. Here comes the delivery. Outside low. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. 2 outs. Nobody on. 4-3 the score. You're listening to Mariners Baseball right here on YouTube. It is the last inning of play, provided there's not a tie-up here. Luedeke trying to get the save for the Mariners. Chandler Miller. Here comes the 1-0. Chopped foul down the 3rd base line, dribbling towards the 3rd base dugout. 1-1.
Everybody clap your hands.
Mariners with that 1 road win against the Leprechauns. But this would be a good one here for them to try to reboost the morale going into Cincinnati, who, by the way, lost their game today. So Cincinnati will be coming off a loss. Mariners could be coming off a win. Cut on and missed. And the Joes are down to their last strike. 1-2 now the count here to Chandler Miller. Luedeke only struck out one thus far in the season. He will deliver the 1-2. Called strike 3. And that will be the ball game. The Mariners will walk away with the victory here, 4-3. Luedeke will get the save. The winning pitcher for the day. The winning pitcher on the day will be Jordan Peck.
All right, folks, Game 2 final tonight here at Foundation Field. Sees the Grand Lake Mariners come back late in the 7-inning game and win by a score of 4-3.
We'll
You
step
take a look
aside.
out at the scoreboard for the day's final in Game 2 line
You're
score.
listening to Mariners Baseball right here on YouTube. I'll have final thoughts here from Hamilton, Ohio. But the Mariners win 4-3 and split the doubleheader in the series with the Hamilton Joes, advancing back to 6-6 on the year. Joes fall to 3-9. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. Be right back. So Tommy Seymour will be the winning pitcher. He will advance to 1-0 on the year. Your losing pitcher for the Joes will be William McLean. He'll fall to 0-2 on the year. And Tyler Luedeke will complete the 1 inning, not allowing a run. Struck out 3 batters. Did not allow a walk, did not allow a hit. He struck out the 3 he needed. He will get the save for you today. If you had to name a player of the game, it would be really hard because there's a lot of guys who did a lot of things. Justin Diaz didn't record an RBI. Had 3 walks, though. Got on base 3 times. Was patient. He would earn my most patient batter. But how about the go-ahead run scored by Evan Spry? I will give him my player of the game. He came in a very tough situation. He came in not having an at-bat in this game. He did bat in the previous game. He came in, delivered the go-ahead run, delivered the RBI single they needed to win this game. Mariners held on here. Tyler Luedeke gets the save. It's a good day for the Mariners here. They split the series 1-1, and they go back to 6-6 on the year, heading to Cincinnati tomorrow. Another interleague matchup. I would like to thank you all for listening. That will just about conclude my broadcast. But before I go, I would like to send out a couple of thank yous. First, I'd like to thank the entire Grand Lake Mariners staff for letting me join along and travel with the team and broadcast each and every game. I would also like to thank Kevin McGowan, the GM of the Mariners, for allowing me on this entire 42-game season, giving me the opportunity for this internship credit, the experience to go in to a field I want to go into. Thank you, Kevin, so much. I'd like to thank my host family as well as each and every other host family of the Grand Lake Mariners for the summer of 2018 for being so hospitable, opening up their homes, providing meals, and being an important part to the Mariners season. Thank you guys so much for all you do and sticking up with each and every one of us. And I know not all of us are some easy people to deal with, and I'm talking about myself included. I would also like to thank each and every person involved in making this season happen league-wide, setting the schedules, making sure the stats are up to date and provided. Of course, the Joes for providing me the place to broadcast and being flexible, of course. I had to move down for the first game because it rained during the first game. But then in the second game, they were fine with me. Moved packing up, standing next to the loudspeaker. Thank you guys for providing me this place to broadcast. Let's do it again sometime. I would also like to thank my listeners for listening in. Well, that's it for today. Tune in tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch, weather permitted. The Mariners will be taking on the Cincinnati Steam. Live from Cincinnati, another road games 5 and 6 in this 8-game road stretch. But first tomorrow, Cincinnati, 7:05 start. The final score here from today, your Grand Lake Mariners walk away with the win, 4-3 over the Hamilton Joes. Thank you for listening. I'm Donovan Mann saying have a wonderful night and go Mariners.